Pug party. Wow. Very cute. How old is your puggy?
He is a little over 2.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
that is so
So fucking
Oh
cute.
goodness.
Pudding is almost 1 at the end of this month.
What
And she has so much energy. And she's actually forged a weapon here.
has she got there?
This is so we gave her the Passover bone after Passover.
Right.
Which is like a bitter herb? Or is that
Yep.
Hmm.
is that a different thing? There's the shank.
No,
Oh
it's the
no,
bone.
it's the
We're giving her
bone
bone.
shank.
Yeah, it's the
Oh,
bone shank.
but it's the shank of what animal?
Lamb.
Oh
It's
right, that's
lamb.
right.
It's a lamb bone. And then I don't know what happened. She lost it for a while, and it's recently resurfaced. And she's like, I've almost stabbed myself with it. Like, this is like, you could kill somebody with this. Like, she's got these bone chunks into these. I'm like, we had to take it away.
That's a prison shank.
Yeah, it's a prison shank. Like, she was happy and she was really loving the bone. And then I'm like, our child has forged a weapon. We have to take it away.
Did
We
the
can't.
child forge the weapon inside or outside of Sand Piglet?
Right? I think she learned some skills in Sand Piglet that have transferred over. I mean, she's bullying the cat.
Yeah.
Hey, 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 hey.
Oh, so in your cat pug relationship, the dog is the bully, because in mine, the cat is the bully.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Yeah, Jane was not a fan of Albus when he was a pup. I have a
Wow.
video when Albus was like, the size of my hand,
Oh,
just like yapping,
Yeah.
and Jane just like hissing and running away. So now Albus is pretty terrified. Like if she like gets up and like puts up her like paws, like he's like
Right.
shies away. But they
wow.
don't really interact too much. They lay down together in the same bed.
Yeah.
Um, but they don't really like play too much. It's minimal.
Yeah, it's very minimal between Monkey and Pudding.
Yeah, it's a strained relationship. But at nighttime, like after when Pudding doesn't have puppy energy and she's just
Hmm.
like chill and snuggly, Monkey's like tight. He'll lay on one side of me and like she'll lay on the other side. And
Yeah.
they could coexist. They can be chill. But as soon as like Pudding wakes up, she wakes up and chooses violence. She's like, I'm gonna
It
fuck your shit up, and she just wants to play, and she is like, I'm a dog, so we're gonna play the way I want to play. I play dog. I want to chew on you. Like I really want to chew on you. And Monkey's fucking like 10, 11-year-old cat. He's like, absolutely the fuck not. That's like,
yeah.
we're not gonna do like no, like that's not. So, but he's like very chill. Like he's just like, watch
They
it.
they also have different love languages. They need different things
Yeah.
from each other. They want different things from Puggy wants to play with Monkey and Monkey wants to chill with Puggy.
Yeah.
And they just can't seem to
Right.
get it right. They can't seem to get on the same page.
Yeah. There's only brief hours of the day where they could like
Yeah.
find that space.
Pudding's energy will go down soon. Albus was really energetic until about 18 months, and now
Mm,
he's. I mean, he still likes to play, and you can
Yeah.
get him riled up,
Yeah.
but overall, like the biting and like the incessant, like, hey, let's go ape shit right now.
Right.
That's like pretty minimal these days. He's actually like a loaf.
oh, I love that.
He's calmed down, but it. I remember the days where. He was just a menace to society. He'd just like bite your ankle. He really has a thing for soccer balls.
Yeah.
He'll like jump 2 paws on the ball, and if you try and take his ball, like that's the only time he'll growl or be like slightly aggressive.
Do you ever find
Um,
lighting a lighter in front of his face will scare him off from biting your ankles?
nah, he's not scared of fire.
What's the other
He's
one? So we use lighters and then we also
Uh,
shake pill bottles.
Yeah. That one.
that
Does
does
that
work.
work?
He does not like an aluminum foil. Like if you have like aluminum foil or something like paper that shakes,
Uh-huh.
like a thick bag or something like
Uh-huh.
that,
Mm.
Yeah.
he's like, oh shit, what? So there's a couple techniques, but he also responds to a firm no.
Oh,
He like
what
he
a
likes to
blessing.
he like
What a blessing.
I think my dog, he wants to like please me.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
like sometimes like whenever he's being bad, like I'll start ignoring him and he'll like paw at me and
Yeah.
I just continue to ignore him until like he displays good behavior, you
Yeah.
know. Other times I'm not a good butt swat when he was younger was necessary because the biting and the chewing on wood and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
was precarious. He chewed on a couple dressers and drawers and I was like, oh God, we got to put a nip to this.
Right.
got him. He has all the toys in the world. I was like, dude, tear up all these, man. Just not the shit,
No.
not the real shit.
Not the real
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Pudding is fucking lawless. She is ungovernable. It is a constant challenge of like who's in charge, and she's a Scorpio, and she's like, I don't give a fuck. Any attention is good attention, and I want
What
all of it. You know.
Scorpios that so that's between like what, like beginning of October and like the first 2 weeks of November.
Something like that.
Mid October, like October 21st.
Oh, it's right. The
Okay.
end of October.
Till about November 20th.
Yeah.
What is
like
May
that.
May 17th? What is that?
That's a good question. Taurus?
What's Taurus energy like? I'm a Sagittarius.
Taurus? Oh, okay. I like that. Fiery. I like
That-
Sagittarius. Y'all like to go out and do shit and like
Tyler, we actually ranked all of the horoscopes at one point. We did a tier ranking system of all the horoscopes.
all of the astrology signs.
Do you remember
What was last?
You're the expert.
Who did I rank last?
Yeah.
Probably I forget who I put on the bottom.
Didn't
Probably
you,
Aries or something.
I feel like you
that.
downvoted me. I started at second place. I'm Libra. I was at like position 2. Like not the best on S tier, but like second best. And then I
got slowly demoted.
Yeah, I got slowly demoted. Then
I started remembering everything you've ever done that's pissed me off, and I was like, wait a minute.
I was
Actually.
I was like last choice on the A tier. I remember I went down from 2 to 5. My ranking went from 2 out of 12.
We put you right in the middle.
I was almost right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
So
It's because Libras are slutty and indecisive, and
yeah.
they're like, let me see everything from everybody's position, and I am like, no, there's a clear right and a fucking wrong, and you better get on the right fucking side of this. And Libras are like, hey, right, wrong, it's perspective, and I'm like, no, there's definitely a right. I get it. There's nuance. There's a
What's
spectrum.
you remember we came up with that term? I'm jammy-dexterous. I'm jam. Let's like the slutty jammer. What's that called again?
Grateful Dead?
Yeah. Jambidextrous?
No,
ambidextrous?
Fuck, what is it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know.
You don't even know what I'm talking
about.
about.
No, absolutely lost. You steered the ship into a dark, foggy corner.
It's a dark foggy corner because I can't remember it, but once it's remembered, it's a beautiful visage with mountains and sunlight and
beautiful.
Yeah.
I hope we make it through the clearing, the fog.
So what does the word represent? What does it mean?
It means you're slutty you like jamming with everybody.
Okay, jamming with everybody.
This is a word we made up, though. This isn't a real
Okay.
word.
Oh God. Well, I'm a linguist, so I feel like I can
that's what I'm saying.
Like piece this together. So like
I think
there's
it was
jam.
jamidextrous.
No, it's not dexterous.
Because it's like ambidextrous.
I know, but it's sexual.
Not it?
No, it's fuck. Okay, let's think about this. I'm trying to go for polyjammerous.
Polyjammerous.
Okay. Well, see, we got it. We got there.
We got there.
Polyjammerous.
Cool.
We workshopped
That actually
it.
sounds really great. That like has like a good like bite to it. I don't know, something about like poly, like the closed mouth, and then to the just sound.
Yeah.
Linguistics is literally broken my brain. Sometimes like when I'm listening to people talk, I just lose all sense of like semantics, and I'm just hearing like the sounds of the words they're saying. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay, hold on. They're saying words that mean things. Let's piece this together and be cool. Be cool.
Be cool.
Interesting.
Stop going too deep.
Yeah.
That like phonology class just like really broke my brain. I like had a project on Swahili, like just breaking it down into its individual components and like, talking a little bit about why things look like this or why they're pronounced like this.
Yeah.
And like if you think about it, I mean, you're trying to restructure like how the brain processes language, and that's I thought it was really interesting, but I hit like a brick wall with where I was able to go. I like reading, but I don't like researching. So I was kind of like them. I'm done here. I got my master's degree and now I don't do anything in linguistics other than enjoy how people say things.
I have to say from the standpoint of a music listener, such as myself, I've always had a tendency to listen to the sounds of lyrics and how it makes me feel.
Oh yeah.
more so
Yeah.
than what they're actually talking about. And it wasn't until recently where I was like, maybe I should care about the other part, because I know probably most people listen to music from the meaning of the lyrics as the primary focus. And then like
Yeah,
harmony,
absolutely.
melody, rhythm is like all whatever, secondary, tertiary shit. What do you think?
Hmm.
What do you think, Buttons?
I think it's like I think that they're both really important. To me, I think it's kind of like the sugar baked into the cake, right? It's
But you are somewhere in the middle. As a music listener, you're 50-50.
yeah, I am, but
You're
I think
right. You're right. You're in the center.
yeah, but I think because I really love lyrics, but also
Yeah.
what I really love is like singing
What?
in other languages.
Yeah.
Because
Sure.
it brings a different
the sound of
connection
it.
to the
Exactly.
words, and like you're able to internalize it and process it, and like
Yeah.
sentences make more sense when
Yeah,
I'm singing them
absolutely.
in another language. And also like it's like a really cool way of like like they say like a language is yours, or it's like a part of you when you can dream or like think
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
another language,
yeah,
where you're not doing like real time translation, right, where you just
Yeah.
can think in that language. And I
Yeah.
think that music is one of those beautiful ways where you don't actually need to know
What they're talking
they're
about.
what they're saying, because you
Yeah.
can hear the song and you could hear the vibe. And I'm like, there's like this
yeah.
one like amazing like 60s like Korean kind of like girl band song, and
Sounds
I
cool.
don't know what the lyrics directly translate to, but when I listen to it, I know exactly what that bitch is talking about. I'm like, yep, she's mad. She is heartbroken. She's frustrated with, some sort of part. And then eventually I looked up like the translation of the lyrics, and it was like, yup, that was pretty
Yeah,
much what she was
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
I didn't know at the time, but you could feel the emotion within like the sound and the way that the song was structured, and you
Absolutely.
could pick up on what was going on. And I think that's like, to study something like linguistics like sounds really exciting, because you get to really like break down why we've associated sounds and these certain things like culturally, because there's lots of like, especially with like Latin languages, right, there's a lot of crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very cool, very interesting thing to think about. I think you could get definitely very lost in very easily.
Yeah, I try to like really the technical side of it, the P's and Q's, reading the seminal research and getting up to par with that. That is the part where I started to hit a brick wall. I think I still really think about language and culture all the time.
Right.
I travel a lot. My job has me now. I travel like 100% for work. So I tend to be all across the United States, and just hearing how people talk in the East Coast versus I was in San Diego for a little while, and then I go to DC, and it's just like night and day. And you start to hear these like really big idiosyncratic differences within our own nation and dialects. And that's all culturally based, slang terms, especially
Right.
I worked with a bunch of boys from Massachusetts. It's a scene straight out of Good Will Hunting. That's I've never heard people sound like with a thick Boston accent like that.
When were you in Boston?
Um, in September, late September. I was there for like 3 weeks.
Interesting. I lived in
Yeah.
Boston for 4 years, and now you're in Austin.
Oh,
Yeah, I went to school there, and now you're in Austin, Texas, where I lived for 10 years.
yeah. And that's when I met you. You lived in Austin.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we're working and playing out here. So I definitely I love Austin in some respects, but the logistics of the city don't agree with me. I hate traveling. I hate traffic. Uh, you
Yeah.
you moved to LA. Was traffic worse or better? Because I feel like it doesn't get worse than Austin traffic. And I've driven in LA recently. Just didn't seem that bad.
LA's about timing, baby.
Well,
Ah,
there's a lot of things. There's a lot of moving parts. Okay. Part one. LA traffic is overall worse because there are more congestions over more square footage, as well as like the fact that the whole city is more sprawling. It's just a bigger city, so it takes longer to get from point A to point B than it would in Austin. However, on the other hand, Austin doesn't have enough infrastructure to support its large population. So that's, it's, I still think Austin's better because the thing that sucks about LA is like, oh shit, we have to go to the chiropractor tomorrow. That shit is like easily 30 minutes away. And with traffic, it could add another 10, and then you got to park, and then we have to plan our whole day around like, okay, we're going to this part of the city. What are other errands we can get done in that part? In Austin, doesn't matter as much. You can like fart around and like it's more chill. It's like easier to do simple things in Austin, is my experience.
I think LA is an art. It's knowing. I think that if you live here for a certain length of time, you're like, obviously don't get on the 405 between these hours to these hours. Like you're gonna be fine.
I don't like getting on the highway here.
Yeah, but the thing is though, is if like at 3 a.m. you could get anywhere in this city in fucking
different.
20 minutes. You know what I mean?
Like late at night, if I'm doing like a long road trip back into town, of course, that's chill.
Super wild. The same drive that could take you 20 minutes can take you like 3 hours.
I just drove from Phoenix, Arizona to LA because I went for a wedding.
How long is that? About 4 hours?
7.
Oof.
Yeah, because I left during Scottsdale / Phoenix traffic. How far away is Lubbock from Phoenix?
10.
Oh,
just
shit.
a little bit under 10.
Okay.
Albuquerque's like the halfway point, though.
Right.
I love Albuquerque, despite.
Do you know what
despite
I call?
like.
Do you know what I call?
What do you call
Albuquerque?
it?
Albuquerque is methy orange Austin. It's Austin, the layout, the way it's organized, like the downtown. Then they got the college strip.
Yeah.
It's very similar, but it like the architecture is more orange, and then plus meth.
I think in
But
any
the mountains
desert
are so
place,
beautiful.
any desert place has more meth. I don't know.
True. Because why is that? Why is there more meth out in the desert?
I think here's my theory, because I lived in the Pacific Northwest for a really long time.
Is it a temperature thing?
Okay.
Where heroin's super huge, and I think it has to do with climate and temperature. I think that when you live in a wet, cold place, a downer or something that feels akin to a warm blanket is like
more the vibe.
More of the vibe. Whereas I think in desert climates, you probably don't want to move around a lot during the day, but you would at night when it's cooled down, right? So a drug that'll keep you up for like 12 to 16 hours at a time, like you can get a lot of fucking shit done at night, you know.
That tracks.
That's a
that
theory,
tracks.
you know. But
I feel like that would be some great research, you know, like somebody needs to get this funded so that we can find out, and that's how we know how to stop the problems. You know, we just
and I'm like,
cut off the meth supply line in the south and cut off the heroin supply line.
I'm like,
osmosis.
I'm like, but the root reason is capitalism.
Well, yeah, that's.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to.
That machine's really tough to stop. You know?
It's a tough machine to stop.
Eco-terrorism, baby.
Yeah. I refer to capitalism as like Jumanji, right? Like regardless of whether you want to be a part of it or not, the game is being played, right? You'll get stampeded by elephants. You have to figure out how to pay rent, you know?
Rent has to get paid. I think that's another thing that's stopping me from playing music live as much. I think
let's introduce you. Actually, let's introduce you in 2 minutes because JQ is about to live stream us to TikTok. Then we'll do your proper intro. But I want to talk about your experience in Austin. Like how long have you been there for? Why are you moving back to Lubbock? Like, let's talk Texas stuff.
Yeah, so I moved to Austin last July.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that, like 18 months or something like that? 7 plus 3, 15 months. So I moved in the summer. I left Lubbock kind of post-pandemic, thinking like, all right, things are chill.
Right.
People are not getting as sick. You know, this vaccine works for those that are willing.
Right.
And I was like, Austin seems, hip. Vaccinated place as well, so I'm hoping shows start to pick back up and opportunities. At the time I was just like kind of working like odd jobs part-time.
I mean, you're
really just trying to focus on gigging.
Yeah, you're also a fantastic musician. Like, you are a total asset to anyone who wants to put like really a band of any genre together. You'd be an asset to that in Austin.
No, I
you know?
appreciate it. I
Yeah.
really I enjoy composition. I enjoy original music. I was kind of done with the cover gig and the 3 hour jazz gig thing. I
Right.
did that a lot, and that got old. And I was like, Austin is a great place for original music. But when I got here, like rent kicks your ass real fast
Yeah,
in a
I'm sure
way
rent's
in a
really
way that
rough
like
now.
catches up.
Yeah.
So I had a cool part-time gig and was playing just with anybody that asked. Some church stuff, some friends from West Texas. But really, it just I met some really nice people in the sense that like I enjoyed playing music with them in a professional acquaintance type
Right.
way.
Right.
But I only met like one or two people where I was like, we are talking about music in a way that's really getting me going, and like
It's really interesting.
you're onto something that like I believe in.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I know.
That,
I feel you, dude. I really do. I mean, I left Austin because I was hitting a wall. I was like, I'm just not meeting the people I want to meet to like that inspire me, and like I just felt
yeah.
like at the time at least the music scene was oversaturated with what I call dinosaur junior bands. Just like
Well,
really boring, like bland ass like white guy rock, just like teenage fan.
yeah.
Nothing wrong with Dinosaur Jr. or Teenage Fan Club, but like the bands that are replicating them are just like it's not for me. It's just not for me. I'm not even trying to judge people who like that. It's just there was too much of it.
It's what gets billed a lot, I
It's what
think.
gets billed
What's
exactly.
accessible, like that. There's sort of an appeal for that neutral style of
Yes.
rock, if you
Yeah.
will.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
Yes.
understand that like I have
That's so
friends that
true.
are in the avant scene or, in non-traditional forms of music.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of room for weirdness, it feels like. It's like Austin has like a weird reputation, but like I perceive Austin these days, the tech bro culture is much more
Right.
dominant.
Yes.
It's a much more
Yes.
dominant force, and the way that it plays out is kind of weird. I feel like
I,
some of the
I totally
bands that are
agree.
playing in the the everyday joints, not
Yeah.
like emos or
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
but like just
Chicken
local
wing.
places.
Yeah. 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 Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those shows are like not really getting me excited. The songwriting is sometimes cool, but for me, it's timbres. Like I want to hear
Te-
people make a guitar sound weird, sound like something I've never heard before. Bring a synthesizer and like
Everything you're
enhance like
saying,
the thing that's going on.
I am 1,000% on your wavelength right now.
Yeah, preaching to
You
the
are
choir over here.
everything you're.
Shmur's like, yes,
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 yes.
yes.
I can feel, I can
Yeah.
feel him
Yeah.
just checking off all those boxes.
Check.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's on the list.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt about Austin. Is like, yo, give me the timbres is a really good way of putting it. I remember there was this one bill. It's like my last, maybe second last show I played, and it was me. I think Ringo Death Star was the headliner.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem was that they fucking. Okay, so I was like, the inside stage, outside stage were slotted like 15 minutes apart. So I had all 300 to 400 people or whatever watching me,
Mm-hmm.
and then 15 minutes into my set, Ringo Death Star starts playing outside, and then I lose like 280 people. So it's like, yo, like, why because I'm the guy who's doing weird timbres, because I'm the one act on the bill that's not
Yeah,
doing neutral guitar rock that
yeah.
I just I felt like it was very symbolic of like my relationship with that city. It was like, okay, I see how it is. I'm getting the fuck out of like I remember saying to my friends there, because I had some homies come out to watch me play that show, and I was like, I think I'm leaving Austin, y'all. Like I don't know. I don't know how much longer I can do this anymore, you know.
I completely understand. I don't think it ever got to that degree with me because I ended up getting like a shitty tech road job. Pays the bills.
Yeah.
And in that sense, it was great because then I said no to a lot of like mostly everything. I only said yes to like a handful of things, music wise, that I thought were really fulfilling, and that I would want to make time for,
Right.
especially learning music. Because in the jazz world, a lot of times people's books are pretty specific. And I was playing with a singer and she had like some really specific songs jazz versions of rock songs and things like that.
Right.
It's all cool though. I really like the people in the band, so like I took the time to
Were you
learn this music.
Were you
What's
playing in any bands in Austin that performed original material?
Yeah, played with a friend of mine and his band Black Caskets.
Uh-huh.
He's actually his record is getting mixed and mastered right now.
Sweet.
That was cool. He's from West Texas.
Yeah.
Some goth rock stuff.
Yeah.
Really good songwriting. And then I played with my friend Will, Cowboy Cold.
Which we're gonna listen to on the show.
Yeah, Will is like my best bud, also like my little brother. He's a 6'8", handsome Lone Star tall boy from West Texas.
Wow.
He's a couple years younger than me. And we lived in Gypsy House together for a year. And that was when he was 21 and I was 23. So
was that the guy you were in a band with at the time?
You might be thinking about my long-haired friend Clint.
Yeah, I think so.
Clint, I just saw him actually 2 days ago in Denver, or yesterday in Denver. He plays in a couple psych bands up there.
That makes sense. I remember him being a psych bro.
Yeah, Clint is definitely a straight out of 1968.
Right.
Fantastic songwriter.
Love those types. A lot of turquoise jewelry.
By the way,
the paisley in the wardrobe.
The paisley with the pearl button-ups.
Yeah, I already know.
Oh,
the
wait.
type.
Here's a question. Did you ever go to the venue Electric Church? That's kind of like the...
Okay. Yeah. Huge fan. The visuals, they did some really interesting visuals the time that I did go. I only went once.
Yeah.
And that was actually when I didn't live in Austin. I still lived in Lubbock at the time.
Oh, okay.
Pre-pandemic, pre-plague.
Were you ever able to check out Me Mere Mo Monday?
No, I hadn't heard of that.
You should definitely do that before you leave. It's
on Friday.
It's it's at Hotel. It's in the back of Hotel Vegas. Do you know?
Okay.
Volstead?
I played Hotel Vegas.
Yeah, so every Monday it's a free show, as far as I understand. Remember about it, and it's all experimental, like, timbre forward acts. That's the whole.
Modular synths and stuff like that.
Modular synths and stuff. Sometimes jazz. It's really cool. I would say
I haven't been to Hotel Vegas in a while. I went not too terribly long ago to see my friends Rattlesnake Milk. Those boys they live in Lockhart, but they play in Austin a lot. Fucking love them.
Lockhart's the barbecue capital of the world, or just of Texas?
I think they would say the world, but for me, I would probably just say like the South. I don't know.
Oh,
I haven't had barbecue there, to be honest. I like barbecue fine, but like I also
it's barbecue. Yeah. It's not. I wouldn't put barbecue as one of my favorite food genres, but it's great.
It gives me the itis.
Yeah, for real.
I'm not about that shit sometimes. Like I gotta like do shit in the afternoon. Like I can't just be like knocked out because I got the meat sweats.
Yeah, that's so.
It's
real.
like shit, man.
I
like
shit
barbecue,
right,
though.
Yeah.
Right? That's the other thing, is like that's paying it forward a couple days.
Yeah, it's not even just the barbecue that'll get you either, because I'm not gonna just have the barbecue. I want sides.
The fixins.
I want the whole I want the cornbread.
Oh,
I want the greens.
Tyler, do you know what our by the way, everyone, this is our guest, Tyler Simpson. We're probably live on TikTok at this point.
Cool.
What's our new favorite restaurant? We go to this place called Saddle Ranch.
Oh my god, Saddle Ranch.
It's basically like a Texas barbecue,
but it's like Hollywood style.
But it's Hollywood.
Very corny. They've got the mechanical bull.
Yep.
It's right on Sunset. It's right next to the Comedy Store, and it's like it's camp. It's everything about it is very
campy, but like the food slaps.
But the food's
really good.
They bring out these little they bring out little warm jalapeno cornbread biscuits and another little bread with butter.
Yes.
And I was like, everything about this is sinful and perfect, and I I'm not like I'm not a proud American, right? Like, I don't give a fuck about 4th of July. I'm like, the whole thing's founded on genocide and rape. But when you feed me food like that, I'm like, proud to be an American. Yeah. I'm like, goddamn right, I'm free. And I'm going to eat my own body weight and butter and meat as God intended.
The culture, man.
Yeah.
You can always be proud of the culture, right? Because
Yeah.
the culture is not American dependent. The culture is the South is. I mean, a lot of the South is just filled with good old culture. Cooking.
Let's talk about the South. Let's talk about. So you're from Lubbock. You're moving back to West Texas soon.
I am on Friday. I'm moving back to West Texas.
How do you feel about that?
There's so much going on right now. It's
Yeah.
a lot of logistics, so it's hard to really focus. Like I haven't really honestly, I've been on autopilot. I
Right.
haven't been home a whole lot in the last 4 weeks. So now that I'm at home, I'm like looking at the magnitude of all the shit that has to happen.
Oh,
Like I
fuck.
have to drive to Lubbock on Wednesday, take all my music stuff because
But I mean,
I can't
how do you feel about leaving Austin and going back home?
Oh, that's
That
I'm
part of
not
it, I
so
guess.
worried about leaving Austin.
Yeah.
I'm just more worried about like getting back home and like moving in, getting things set up. I don't know. I just not home a lot.
Yeah.
I'm really gone often, so there's like a lot of stress to get it done while I'm here. But I'm more or less excited, mostly about like the financial relief of not living in Austin. Lubbock is like a super low cost of living place. Things
Right.
are what I call like regular prices still,
Right.
in the sense that like my last house in Lubbock, I was paying $850 between 3 roommates. And then when I moved in with my partner,
Oh my God.
we had a house that was like, beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It was like 1,200 square foot. It was like $1,100 a month.
That's insanity.
Wow.
So
That's
like
insanity.
that's like yeah.
I'm like
that's
salivating. I'm like, what? Oh my, that sounds
of
so
course.
delicious.
And now that I travel a lot, I know how expensive it is, really, like truly around the U.S. And the hard part is, and coming from Lubbock, it's really hard to go
The
from
South
Lubbock
is
to a
cheap.
cost of living place.
Mm-hmm,
Like that's like a hard jump. And it's a little bit easier right now for me to go from a high cost of living place to a low cost of living place.
yeah.
So that's the reality that I'm looking forward to, because if I don't have to make as much money, that's more time to pursue things that matter to me,
Yeah.
And
other than making money.
Jesse and I often will go into Zillow
Yeah.
and look up like, we'll just choose a random place like Hattiesburg, Mississippi. You can get a fucking mansion
Beautiful.
for $1 million. You're like a god
Yeah.
in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, or like, Athens, Georgia, a totally livable place. You can get a really nice house there for $400,000.
And here,
Yeah.
like a tiny, like kind of like home that looks like it needs a lot of work and renovations. They're like, yeah, that'll be a casual 1.5. But we're gonna need it all right now. And the property tax, we're gonna fuck you on that hard.
Yeah.
Well, and also the cost of repairs, in California specifically, like coding and stuff like that is a little bit different. In Texas, we're kind of like, fuck it.
Yeah, fuck
Do
it.
what you need to do.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do, son.
yeah.
And over there, like they're like, sir, I'm gonna need you to come back on Tuesday because we only accept these applications on
Right.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Sir, are you getting aggressive?
Yeah.
And that's cool. I appreciate the process, and I know that there's a lot more environmental hazards in California with like landslides and the being built on different types of materials. But
Yeah.
Texas is also just trash. Like, don't think for a second that it's not, because we did the calculations. We're just like, fuck it. It's cost too much money to care. Just do your thing.
So did Beto O'Rourke just get destroyed in the?
He didn't get destroyed, but he lost.
He
It
lost.
wasn't. It was a clear loss. Like he gave a concession speech like a normal fucking politician.
Right.
And you know what? And honestly, like I don't care. I like Beto fine, but I don't fucking care what politician. Like the damage is kind of permanent right now in Texas, and a governor is not going to fix like the infrastructure that is like crumbling, not just like the physical infrastructure, but like the societal infrastructure. Austin is a really great example. Like the public, when you left, Sam, you could still camp in public, right? Because you left in like 2018 or something like that, 2019.
Yeah, exactly.
So in that time, like camping in public, there was just still like a lot of public houselessness, and that's tragic. But Austin thought the solution was to ban it and make it, a finable offense. So now they
criminalize it.
Clear and can't.
That'll help.
encampments. and you know, everything kind of just gets pushed out into the boonies, South Austin, and
Oh yeah,
it's
what part of South Austin are you in?
like William Cannon, and
Yeah.
not too far from the Mopac.
I used to live on Stasny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the spot, man.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of chill over here, like in South Austin. Traffic's not terrible. Everything I need is like within a 5 mile radius. But I just it sucked because to go do anything north of the river feels like a chore, and I'm just over that.
Right.
I think LA would destroy me.
Yeah, I
I
don't
was
think
in
you would
LA.
like it.
I
Yeah.
was there recently to go see a show, and I was driving around, and I was like, yeah, this would be a lot to deal with on a daily basis. But I love to visit. I love
What
to go places.
where when's the next time you coming back to LA in person?
I would like to come. I really was thinking February because
Sweet.
I'm taking. I like being in the West Coast. My job generally keeps me in the West Coast, so there's a chance that I'll be there before I'm there, like on leisure time.
Yeah.
But I've been thinking about taking some time off in February, going to LA. I'd like to purchase another keyboard or look at getting. I have a
Yeah.
Fender Rhodes, and I'm kind of like in a weird situation with it, where like
Buy it in
if I
LA
invest
so that we
it,
can jam with it.
yeah, I mean, I'd have to, and I'm
Yes,
kind of in a
yes.
position where like I either need to get it like restored, or I need to consider like making that like a relic or like a carcass and like
Right.
getting a new one.
Right.
And prices of roads right now are kind of insane, so like the restoration option actually seems cheaper. I'm just trying to be pragmatic because I love my roads.
Yeah.
I would die for that thing.
Right.
That's one of those instruments. I got that thing for $800 from the first owner,
Wow.
somewhere in buttfuck Colorado. I drove like 12 hours to go get that shit.
From Lubbock?
Yeah, Craigslist hunting just like a motherfucker. All
Wow.
my homies came with me too because they were so excited. It was such a beautiful trip. We like went to Denver, smoked a bunch of pot, and then like we met this dude in like Durango.
Uh-huh.
And he was like living in a VW van, and like we went into this random ass coffee shop in town, and I had brought my amp, and I was like, hey, do you mind if I like test this out, make sure this shit's all cool? And they were like, whatever. Like that's
What
weird.
Oh, really?
So I just like checking out, like, you know, like I'm inspecting the Fender Rhodes because like we had just like
Why is
talked
that
over
weird?
text.
That's such a reasonable thing to request.
I mean, yeah, just at a random coffee shop. I mean, everybody was cool about it. And, you know,
Yeah.
I played it a little bit and was like, done. I mean, I already knew I was gonna buy it,
Yeah.
but you know, you have to do the act.
Oh.
That's amazing.
And all the homies were there too. It was a good time.
Sounds
We were all
romantic.
just like, yeah.
Yeah, it
Like-
sounds
It
like
was a
good
really
time.
great trip. And then we drove back with it in the car. And actually, funny story about that, Rhodes. My last car, I fucked up the suspension because I drove with it in my car so much. Because I used to always keep it on the right side. And dude was like, yeah, man, your left side's fine, but your right side's kind of fucked. Like, you're going to have to replace that strut. And I
Yeah.
was like, shit, why? And then, like, I thought about it for months. And then one day, just like, I was like, oh, fuck. I can't keep doing that. So
Yeah.
it's cool. I don't take that thing out of the house too much anymore.
How do you feel about the West Texas music scene?
Oh man, it's fucking gnarly as hell. I love that shit. It's not producing a whole lot of nationally known artists, but
Yeah.
like in the region, I would say like the I-10 corridor, like from Denver to Albuquerque to Lubbock, like in that triangle. There's a lot of cool shit because that's where people tour.
Right.
That are just what I like to say is just like regular old working class musicians. You know,
Right.
I don't. I think like Grizzly Bear is like my example of like a A-level indie band. Like they
Right.
have it, you
Right.
know,
Right.
they're playing at the best theaters, Interpol type band. So we get a lot of great like house shows still is like the primary like way to see like a really gnarly show in Lubbock. But there's a cheesy nostalgia scene there for like, I don't know, Corey Taylor.
Yeah.
We love the knot.
Fuck.
We are very pro knot.
We're very pro knot here. This is a pro knot household.
Yeah, dude, hey, Jim Root has the best fucking tone. I'm like a guitar tone like horn dog.
Wow.
Like I will like chase, like I will literally listen to just Jim Root solos over and over and over and not give a shit about the rest of the song. Joey Jordison, cool. Corey Taylor, couldn't give a shit about. Clown dude, Sean, what's his name? Banging the drums, that's fine. I'm there for Jim Root and Jim Root only. Sid, synth guy, some cool moments.
How about
All Hope Is Gone. There were some really good synth moments in that
how
album.
about the sampler? Craig Jones.
Craig Jones.
Craig Jones. Craig Jones.
Does he do cool shit?
He's bezzing it
Yeah.
up.
Okay.
But that was like the samples were like heavy in the earlier shit. Like there was almost like an aggressive hip hop.
He also plays
feel.
keyboards though. All the like the ambient programming stuff, I would imagine.
He's bezzing it up.
You think he's Bez?
He's kind of bez. It's kind of bezzing.
Can you rank your favorite Slipknot member? By the way, I did not expect this conversation to go in a not direction.
I like
Very
when
pleasantly
when
surprised.
all roads lead back to the knot.
All roads always lead back to Slipknot. Can you rank your favorite Knot member to your least favorite Knot member?
Well, obviously,
man.
Roots at the top. We already fucking
I don't
figured
even-
out Roots at the top.
And here's the problem.
Everybody
here's
else
the problem.
is peasants.
I'm familiar with like most of the band, but like not all of them. Like I do know Paul Gray passed bass player, right?
Yeah.
I know they have a numbering system. They tried to make it easy for me, but I just haven't studied the knot manual.
Okay, side question. Can you rank your favorite Wu-Tang member to your least favorite?
I don't know all the members of Wu-Tang, but I do know that I enjoy Paul Banks, and I enjoy your Paul Banks impression voice. There's a Paul Banks and RZA album that I enjoy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
That thing was, yeah, I have it on vinyl, and I enjoy it
Holy
from time
shit.
to time.
I
I'm a
never heard-
huge
never heard
Paul
of this.
Banks fan.
This
Huge
is
Paul
new,
Banks
new to
fan.
me.
We're playing it right now on the show. Paul Banks, RZA. Do you have any specific songs that you remember being cool?
Let me look at the track list. It's been a minute.
Banks and Steel's Giant.
Yeah, Banks and
Okay.
Steel.
All right, I'll put that on. Here we go.
This is Virgin.
I totally
Virgin
forgot
ears.
about this project.
Yeah, I love it, man. Honestly. Let's see.
We're playing it right now.
Speedway Sonora was a good one.
When did this come out?
2016. Yeah, and you know, like Paul Banks is like a huge hip hop nerd, so like I really respected that he finally like came through because he used to do shit under like a DJ Fancy Pants.
Okay.
It was like hip hop oriented.
Yeah.
And then like he finally pulled the trigger on this. His solo albums are cool too. The Julian Plenty shit.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, man. Interpol was like my introduction to like all other indie rock because I grew up in like an interesting household. My mom graduated from country, like in like the late '90s, and like went straight to metal, Pantera, Metallica.
You have a
shit
metal
like
mom?
that. Yeah, my mom like has been going to Ozfest and shit back in the day, like when I was like in middle school and just listening to. She listened to a lot of cheese shit. Like I've been since exposed to some really heavy shit like Mayhem. That
Fuck
shit has
yeah.
changed my life. I don't play that type of music. I don't aspire to play that type of music, but I appreciate the fuck out of that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
I
it
love some
exists.
sludge. Yeah, and I would if I go to a show, you're not gonna see me in the front. I'm just gonna be in the back enjoying, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
protecting my ears,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
hearing, and my body.
Smart. Smart.
But my dad is like into the good shit, like Al Green. He's into a lot of like neo soul, neo R&B. So that was kind of interesting growing up. I didn't get into rock until like Rock Band, and then like I played PDA, Interpol. I was like, wow, this is just like so. I just didn't know that like you could make guitars sound like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that had like, you know, obviously got me into like classic rock, and I didn't even hear the Beatles until I was like 20.
Oh wow.
You're so lucky.
Just skipped. Like I was like, I don't dislike or like those fuckers. Who knows? Sergeant. No, the first album I ever heard, I was tripping acid and heard fucking
Magical Mystery.
Magical Mystery Tour. Yeah, and that kind of scared me at first, but when I listened like sober, I was like, oh no. And it became immediately clear that I only liked George Harrison. It was immediate.
Whoa.
It was immediate. I didn't even really register it until I watched that 3-hour doc, and I was like, oh, I don't give a fuck about any of those other guys. Like John's songs suck to me. Paul McCartney is really talented but also boring, and then Ringo I appreciate as being like a rock, you know, like a good
Yeah,
friend.
He's
The
there.
guy that's like, dude, I'll do what you need me to do back here. Like
Exactly.
you guys
Whatever you
go
want me
shine.
to do. Yeah.
And I like to be that for a lot of people, so I appreciate that in Ringo. But yeah, George Harrison spoke to me, and I have 3 copies of All Things Must Pass on
Wow.
vinyl.
Wow.
I'm obsessed with it, and that's more for like I'm also a dumb collector.
Do you like his
Something's wrong with my head.
Do you like his late '80s album Cloud Nine?
I have it. Yeah, I love Cloud Nine. It's not my favorite. It's not my shit that like I rock like while I'm like cleaning or like
Yeah.
cooking. But like sometimes when I like to sit in a dark room and just like get a crate and go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might like make it in there. I
Mm.
have too much vinyl recently. Since I've been traveling, I've been able to go to some insane record stores and get some of the things I've been dreaming about. Because my thing is I don't buy records online if I unless I have to. I bought maybe 15, 20 records online
Oh
in my
wow.
life.
Right.
But I have about 300-400.
Whew.
Yeah, I just acquired 8 Fela Kuti albums from someone from Austin, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah. Um, and then outside of those records, I have a collection of maybe 500 to 600. But like you said,
Yeah.
only 10, 15 of those are records I bought. And the others are records I acquired from my mom, my father, my grandparents, my aunt.
Yeah, it was a whole
Oh, that's cool.
collection that got passed down.
Yeah, just a whole collection of like jazz, blues,
Mm.
weird fucking shit I would never listen to, like
Yeah.
Herb Alpert.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
and the Tijuana Brass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I
Bro,
would.
I see those fucking records everywhere.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like I would never go out of my way to listen to that. But I have so many of those records that I now listen to it. And Buttons, you're really good at putting on records I wouldn't listen to from that collection.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
you like the vocal jazz, which is not necessarily my stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
You'll put on Billie Holiday or like
Ella or Billy? Who's your one?
Billy for sure.
Respect.
Yeah, hands down. I think in general Billie Holiday is my favorite singer. And- rough fucking
can I be controversial?
sure.
I like Ella better.
I think Ella's
Just personally.
so
Totally
here's
subjectively.
so here's what it is though. But there's two different things going on. What I think, in my opinion, right, is Ella is a better technical singer.
Yes.
Right?
Fact.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
the
Yeah,
talent,
fact.
the talent level is higher, but
That's not disputed.
But that's not why and this is what I love about music, right? What gets me about music is the feeling, it's the swagger, it's the emotion. That's why I'm a punk rock kid. Like I love that raw energy that you could feel. And when Billie Holiday like sings some shit like that, it makes me cry. Like I feel it.
Yes.
And
yes.
you feel that heartache and that loneliness. And she had a rough fucking life, and you could.
She lived it.
She
for
fucking
sure.
lived it. Like it wasn't a fucking aesthetic. It wasn't a game. Even the way she died, like it's fucking disrespectful, and my heart, like aches thinking about it. But the sound, it's eerie. It's like there's something about it that's like supernatural to me that like transcends the whatever technical capability of somebody. It's that. Je ne sais quoi. It's that extra that flavor. It's the thing that makes music so human and like so relatable, right? That's what it's not accessible if it's like it's not that radical if it's not accessible in that way, right? Like but if you could hear it and you could feel that you don't need once again you wouldn't need to know what she's saying. You wouldn't need to speak English to understand Billie Holiday.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Billy was great. I think Ella. I prefer Ella if I'm like actually like having to like learn a song because it's generally more clear. But Billy's like renditions of things are like uniquely hers.
Right.
I appreciate that about jazz singers. It's having again. I don't give a fuck about lyrics.
Right.
Literally, I tell my friends all the time like this when they send me songs. A lot of times like rough songs are supposed to like be like a lot of my friends write like lyric driven songs.
Yeah, yeah.
And if they're not interesting harmonically, then I tend to just be like, okay, man, yeah,
That's
another song.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like there's so many of those. There's so many like the simple chord progressions that are. I hate expecting in music, like knowing what to expect, knowing that this is just the original songwriters got the luxury of being the first ones to do that, so that's great. Like Townes Van Zandt, some of those guys, but recreating that now, we're in the future. I'm just trying to hear like sounds I've never heard.
I mean, you're saying all the words that I would totally.
Yeah,
Fucking back.
I'm hearing everything
Can I
that
vote
Shmoo
for?
says
Yeah, can I just vote for you for
for music president.
music treasury of secretary of state?
I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. It's
You have my vote.
music. Music has lately put me in a place where I think I just enjoy what I enjoy, and I don't really care what other people like. If people like something, that's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
But for me and like my close friends and like my close associates, people that like I collaborate with and like really respect, I also don't listen to music that most people send me. Like if you're just like a random person in my life and you're like, oh, I think you would love this song, I also just don't respond in general. I had to get a new phone. I had like it was like 600 or 700 unread text messages, and it was just getting so overwhelming, and like thousands of unread emails, and I was like, I just
Wow.
So that's like
Wait,
I only like.
Are you an anxious avoidant? Is that why?
Maybe I just talk to people on the phone. Like,
I mean,
they didn't even
it
call me.
sounds very Sagittarius. You're like, I'm too busy doing my own fucking thing. I'll talk to you when I want to talk to you. I'll get there. I'll fucking get there.
I like when
Just
people call me. We can just like
Do it
exchange
right now.
information so much faster. Like texting, like so. If my close friends, if they send me music and they're like, "Hey, dude, you will like this." Like the other day, somebody sent me Brian Eno's Apollo, and was like, "Hey, man, I know that you're not like super ambient oriented, but I think you'll like the synthesis on this." And I was like, "Holy shit, this is beautiful! Thank you." Like it was like my friends know what to send me, but I feel really.
Yeah.
I guess I do have a lot of anxiety about. I don't have enough time to listen to all the music in the world.
I know.
So every time I
know.
listen to music, I want to listen to something that I'm like about. I hate having my time wasted.
I totally.
And that's how I feel listening
feel you.
like to some songs that just like cycle through. Rolling Stones, I'm super cool with the sound, like the guitar sound, but like the actual songs themselves, I'm just like, come on, guys, let's get to the next part. I don't know. It's something wrong with me.
No. Just to dovetail off that point, the album "Some Girls" by the Rolling Stones. It's I don't know why people think it's a masterpiece. It's amazing. Are we listening to the same album? It has 2 great songs, and then a bunch of filler.
Yeah.
And I've tried so many times. Like maybe this is the time I'm gonna get it. And I put it on and I'm like, this is just fine. This is just this is average bar rock. Why am I supposed to think this is like among the pantheon of the best rock records ever made? I just like I
think it's just different palettes, right?
But
some people are just meat and fucking potato people, and they're just like that's
okay. But check it out. Here's what I have to
Northern
say.
Man diet.
They have the songs that I like off that album, like "Miss You." I want,
that one? Okay.
I
like that one.
When they're disco and funky, I love it. Why can't I have a whole album I want a whole serving. I don't want just 2 awesome tracks and like 9 boring average saltine rock songs.
It's like they gave you 2 meatballs and there was like a giant pile of like sauceless noodles. You're just like, what?
Like imitation gruel. Yeah. It's just
Russian lunch. That reminds me of my Russian lunch.
What's entailed within a Russian lunch?
Just like unappetizing, like gray colored food. I studied in Russia for like a whole summer in Moscow.
Yeah.
And the cafeteria food was just like, I honestly lost, I think I lost something like 25, 30 pounds. And I'm not like I'm not like a heavy dude to begin with.
Yeah.
So like I couldn't eat because I didn't like anything. And like, I'm not really a picky eater, but I hate pickled shit, like pickled vegetables and stuff like that. I'm not a huge fan. I've since grown. My girlfriend's Korean, so she's put me on to some really life-changing ways to cook vegetables. But the color of like my lunch would just be the blandest, like light brown gray.
Right.
And it would be chicken and gravy.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
the
also, breakfast.
I would say Korean pickled things versus Russian pickled things. That's a different vibe. Koreans put more flavor and spices in there. You know?
Spice, yeah. And the Russians are just focused on the pickling process, so it lasts.
Yeah.
they give you like pickled food when you're drinking vodka. Like if you order a whole bottle, they'll bring you like sometimes in some bars, they'll bring you like a tray of like some pickled shit to like chase. Cause like they don't believe in chasing. We're like, hey, brother, can I get a Coke? I drank some really nasty vodka, some like $5 Lake Baikal vodka that tasted like paint thinner. I
Yeah,
actually don't drink liquor anymore after that.
I don't really drink liquor either. I just do shrooms and smoke a lot of weed.
Yeah, I have beers occasionally, but like one,
Yeah.
two if I'm feeling Jonesy. I'm not never really been a big drinker. Especially now. I feel like I get sick so
Me too.
easily.
Me too. Me too.
Oh, I get
But
violently sick.
I get nauseous and headaches and
my girlfriend's Korean too, so she can't drink. She
Right.
doesn't have the enzyme to break down alcohol. So
nice.
nice.
Neither do I. Right. I think
Really?
Yeah, being Jewish, we lack the enzyme to break down dairy,
Yeah.
gluten,
Uh-huh.
lots of alcohol, lots of what is there anything else I'm intolerant to? Tomato sauces, lots of stuff.
A lot of things, acidic things.
I would say.
So do you mostly practice vegan diet, like a vegan
No.
diet for the most part? No?
No, I should. Well,
We try not to eat a bunch of meat, but we eat meat.
we do eat
Yeah.
meat.
Same.
We're like a fish and chicken household,
Same. Chicken is so great.
I
Chicken
feel
is, like, the
comfortable
most
killing
versatile.
them too. If it came down to like if somebody was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, do you want asada tacos or do you want chicken tacos?" and then they're like, "You got to fucking shoot the fucking cow or kill this chicken." I'm like, first off, I think I would just probably like if I, on a daily basis, I'd probably just opt not.
Buttons, are we allowed to talk about the house party we went to where the food didn't slap? We don't have to name names.
You can bring it up.
Well, I want you to tell the story because well, I'm a white guy, so go for it.
We went to a party and we were like, it's gonna slap. It's gonna be an asada. We're gonna have a bunch of like tacos. Everything's gonna be great.
Okay, but they were Mexican.
Yeah.
So it's like a Mexican mom. You're just expecting like, oh, this is gonna be amazing.
It's gonna slap, and it was all lackluster. It was pretty lackluster. It was really disappointing.
But
like
here's
I
the
didn't
thing.
I didn't see
May
it
I ask
coming.
a question?
Yeah.
Well, oh yeah, okay. Ask a question. Yeah, there's more details, but yeah.
When we talk about Mexican, are we talking about like the Tijuana region of Mexican, like food wise, like style wise, or are we talking something else? Because I detest California Mexican food.
Wow.
It's not the same as Texas.
Ooh.
It's not, and like
Jesse, you'll be
the
able to
flavor.
answer this.
Yeah, like the flavor problem for me is like the spice isn't just like inherently there. Like everything in Texas, like I got a taco guy across the street. He only takes cash. He's
Right.
only open for like 4 hours a day.
Yeah,
It's great.
yeah,
Like this shit is dank, and like every time, like that thing is just this beautiful, greasy, saucy thing. And I feel like the last couple burritos I've got, I was in San Diego last week, and I had like a shrimp burrito. And it just didn't hit. Like there was no like the rice was bland. There was no like popping, and the sauce was kind of flat. It was like a flat green sauce. So that's why I asked: was what style taco we talking? Was this like a
in general?
Describe what
I
happened.
feel like in general what happens is when you have like Texas versus California. Texan has more like northern Mexico. You get more flour tortilla vibe, whereas California has more like southern Mexico, Yucatan, Baja, more corn tortilla. And the thing is,
El Salvadorian.
I
inspirations.
love LA Mexican food. I think it slaps. But the thing is, there are a million spots, so there's like plenty of places where you could get mid food. But the thing is that everything you wouldn't have seen it coming. These are my I know these people, and I just was very surprised. I was confident. I was like, these are the homies. We're gonna go to this party. We're gonna eat really well. It's gonna be very exciting.
Okay, I was so turned off by the meat. And also, I had taken a couple shroom capsules, and usually when I'm really shroomy, I just don't want to.
Meat's hard, anyways.
Yeah, I just don't want to eat meat. I just want to keep it vegan-y. So anyway, I was like, that meat doesn't look good. I'm just gonna go vegan, right? Woo, rough. It was bland and cold and lifeless and how else would you describe?
I mean, I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. How did we get there? Oh, we were talking
It was
about
watery. It was watery and like no season. Like I just couldn't believe what was happening.
it was as if white people had made the
I
Mexican
made the
food.
tacos.
It was
Yeah, it was really bizarre.
there was no flavor. It was
like some white dude from Oklahoma made the tacos.
like looked at the recipe and was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm gonna make tacos tonight, and I'm gonna make authentic tacos because white people are obsessed with, we love making authentic. Knowing what's authentic.
Oh my god,
Uh,
that is why don't people just make like just. I love the Korean style of cooking. Like, you know, don't measure shit. Just make it. Just make it.
just make
and
it.
like,
Just make it good. It's fine.
I'll read a recipe and be like, okay, like approximately how much are we talking about?
Right.
I know that I can't cook certain styles of food. Like the whole like Korean cooking has taken me at least the last 2 years to become like laughably passable.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can make like two things okay, and they're mostly like the bachan, like the side dishes. Like I still have no main dishes under my hat, but I love approximating, and I love like, you know, I read a lot of cooking books. I think that that's my favorite way to learn, at least just stylistically, like what some people do, like what is one way to cook this way. And then I just like add stuff that I like. I don't know.
Yeah,
I grew up watching Food
good.
Network.
It's gonna make it
Ina
taste
Garten.
good.
That's my girl.
Do you watch any Gordon Ramsay affiliated situations?
No, I feel like the most Gordon Ramsay I've seen recently is like TikTok video or him reviewing other TikTok videos or something like that. But I actually don't watch a ton of
he's making,
TV.
He's making so much money doing that.
I bet.
He's
I mean, good for him.
So much money doing TikTok reacts about cooking. Oh
yeah.
Oh, he's swimming in money. Oh, he's swimming.
I don't understand content. I'm like, that's why I'm going back to Lubbock, because people don't care about content there. Like it's so over my head how people like get it, like do that. My girlfriend, she works in social media. She tries to explain it to me. I have a marketing degree, and I don't understand any of that. It's just,
I mean, I guess that's what we're doing. We're making content all the time.
Yeah.
But we're also
but
we're figuring out creative new ways to present content. Like, for example, we're gonna get a hot tub, and then we're gonna involve the hot tub in our live streams. So
cool.
So let's say
that sounds comfy.
Yeah. So let's say you're visiting from LA, and you me and Buttons have a jam, and then there's like a few hotties in the hot tub that are like live reacting to, well, them, but also to the jam, and they're doing the chat. Then they have speakers outside, so it's like you're combining Twitch
with a party,
pools, tubs, and beaches genre with like fish.
Wow,
it's something for everybody. Yeah, you come here, you kind of want to see some boobies, jerk off a little bit. You could do that. You want to listen to some live music? You can catch some live music. Maybe there's some jokes in between, you know? There's a little something for everybody. Because the thing about social media, and I think the reason what makes it so bizarre is a lot of it is like what sells and what is like doing well is kind of it's kind of dark in a lot of senses, because it's like a lot of people aren't having normal human interaction on a regular basis, and so people love this like
parasocial.
It's a parasocial, you know, I'm watching other people, like you're
living vicariously through somebody else.
Yeah, they're like being chill. You feel like you're hanging out with like a group of friends. They're just like shooting the shit. You know, there's babes in a hot tub. It feels like you're like at a party, but then you don't have to like leave, you know. And there's, you know, a very real like there's a pandemic that happened, so people couldn't leave the house.
There's money in fucking live touring, so instead of being instead of being fish, instead of being the next fish, have fish at home, and then have some babes in a hot tub, and then you can do all the jamming you want and still
bring it to you. Just do it. Just do it from home.
And still somehow earn a living. Hopefully.
Yeah.
That's the goal. That's the goal. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to like find ways that we can combine art, music, culture, and creativity with capitalism.
Well, that's positive. That yeah, I can fuck with that because that's like a that's doing a positive thing for people's lives. I mean, the
Yeah,
hotties
bringing
and stuff like
culture
that, like
to
that's
Twitch.
engagement and shit like that. And it's honestly kind of funny. It's like a Japanese game show funny to me,
Yeah,
where it's like the fact that they're doing the chat
yeah,
also like is like
yeah,
amusing to me.
yeah.
But
It's
all in all, I think content in general, like how people engage in it, you're right. It is that parasocial thing, but like I'm like I'm 100% analog, baby. Like I call
yeah,
people. Like I need to talk to. Hey, man.
yeah,
I just haven't talked to you in a while. What's
yeah,
going on?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
tell me what's going on.
yeah.
I just wanted to connect with you. I think that it's cool. My brother and sister are a little bit younger than me, like eight years younger than me. So like they definitely engage in like TikTok and stuff. Like I don't have a TikTok. I barely have a Twitter. I don't. I use Facebook for Facebook Marketplace, and I use Instagram like 2-3 times a day, mostly to like look at like jazz
How similar are
memes.
Tyler and I?
There's a lot of overlap. There's a lot of overlap. Yeah, for sure.
I'm like that's the kind of
That's
person I am. I don't.
You have social media, you're not really on it, you don't really get it, you don't really like it. You see that it's like valuable and you see how it's like useful in the sense of like that's how commerce works now and
Yeah,
marketing. But like you personally being invested in it, absolutely not. Whereas I'm like I I am somewhere on the other side where I'm not full blown basic, but I'm like very like I'm like, yeah, I love some Uggs and a pumpkin spice latte and I want to take a hot fucking selfie and yeah,
Yeah,
maybe I'm going to share what I ate tonight because I spent a long time making dinner and I played it well because I've worked in restaurants, you know? But I
you're.
own it. I'm like self-aware.
But here's the thing. I like the fact that I mean that's why but Jesse slash Buttons and I are so good at collaborating with each other artistically because Jesse is way better at social media and just like
yeah,
more in touch with it, and I'm out in the clouds like figuring out like esoteric wizard
Yeah.
finger painting.
Well, I think it's really beautiful because I think sometimes what happens with magical people that were like, I want to hear something that's never been heard before, and I want to make something musically that people haven't heard before, and I'm like, okay, baby, but is it a dish? Just because we put a bunch of different things in here and we like throw all these spices in here and there's a squid ink
Well, I'll
fucking
say okay.
glass twill, I'm like, is the plate a cohesive dish? Is like,
I'll say
at the end of
this.
the day.
I'll say this. I've definitely gotten a lot better at making my music a cohesive dish over time.
Oh yeah, you have.
Where like in the past it was 20 ingredients on a plate and
yeah.
six of them could have
Shit's
been
intense.
yeah, and six of them could have been taken off. And I've gotten better at working with less ingredients, but making sure each ingredient is elevated.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've listened to at least most all of your most recent releases since like I've known you. Any release that you've had since I've known you. Pure Bliss remains like one of the things that I listen to a lot because it's within like a traditional form. Like, yeah, there's some
Yeah.
odd meter stuff.
Right.
The harmony might not be like linear, and maybe it's modal, whatever.
Right.
But it still feels like a rock song. Like I don't know, it's good stuff. Now, what's the one that you released on Orange or on what is it, Orange Milk? Right.
Oh yeah, the universe is inside of my body.
Inside of my body. Whew. That took me a while to get through. Like I couldn't listen to it all straight, for me, and like I listen to a lot of jazz, but like I'm like into like some really sweet jazz, like bossa nova. I appreciate Monk and stuff like that, but I'm really into like just pretty jazz. That's how I call it.
Right.
And the discombobulated nature of some tracks, especially like the movements, the musical moments.
Yeah.
I just have to like listen to it again so that I can like
Well, I'll say
start
this.
to like compartmentalize things.
Yeah, I would say that my new record that I just finished, which I can send you a private link for, it's a
Please.
lot more listenable. It's a lot more cohesive or something or focused.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So the way I would describe them is
Yeah.
like the universe is inside my body is like art. It's cool, but it's like
Yeah.
you're just jacking off. Whereas like this album fucks. This
Yeah,
one is
the
like
new album
this
fucks,
one's
yeah.
like this one fucks. This one
Cool.
I think you'll like
is
it better.
making love.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. There's a lot more like futuristic R&B and like It definitely fucks.
Man.
It fucks more.
Yeah, this
I
new
love
album fucks.
Yeah, it does. You're right. That's a
I
good.
love how you play drums. I know that you've got a nasty pocket, dude.
Thank you.
Honestly, so like here's the thing. I really appreciated, like, I've heard bands that you played in the past, and
Yeah.
I've heard how they sound with other people before, and or after, and your drumming has a really distinct style. Dude,
Thank you.
Say it.
I just
Say it.
I don't even know
I'm
what
just
it is.
well, it's the thing is, like, I'm really particular about when I think about like my favorite players and things like that. There's things that I'm like really like listening for and thinking about. And with drummers particularly, I like drummers that take command while also like listening.
Yeah.
And in jazz, that's kind of easy to find in
Yeah.
jazz if you are playing with the drummer that's like experienced
Yeah.
in that type of genre and that structure. But yeah, you can play it all, dude. Also, watching
Thank
you
you.
sing and play drums the first time, so I didn't get to like watch your whole set because it was at the house.
Yeah.
And I was like enforcing to making sure the door guy's taking money and shit like that. But there was like a moment where like I was like looking like right in front of my front door, and like you had the Britney Spears headset on,
Yeah.
and like you were going off, and like honestly, like the PA that we had was dog shit. Like it was absolutely dog shit. But it was still so fucking cool, and I was like, okay, I see what he was talking about when he said like the Thundercat thing. But like, I got to go make sure that these fire spinners don't burn my fucking house down. But no, that was like my first like memory of being like, oh, okay, fuck, this guy plays drums in a way that like I like.
Thank you so much.
It's cool.
That
drums are cool.
That's that tour that I went on is one of the weirdest, funniest tours I ever did. I think that's actually, yeah. I mean, that's when on that exact tour, I presented Lionel with the demos for Pure Bliss, and I was like, I think you can help me finish this, because I had been sitting on that shit for years.
Yeah. You mentioned that they're old. Man, that is a well mixed record. I like softness in records. The reverb is such an interesting thing because, like, if used wrong, it's just bad in my mind. Like, I hate my tank reverb. I have an amp, Fender DeVille with tank reverb, and I had it fixed a while ago, and then I didn't really understand why, because like I never use it. I don't also have a reverb pedal because I'm too particular, but like mixing and stuff, I've found some cool reverbs, but it's always how you use it contextually. Vocal.
Totally.
Wait, so the record that you finished, like you mixed, I know that you said that you mixed it in a studio, but did you record everything at your place that I'm looking at in the background?
Yeah, I mean, most of it is programming.
Right.
There are, I would say maybe almost half the album has lead vocals. So Jesse does a lead vocal on a song. Angel from Fire Tools does a lead vocal. Fever the Ghost. And then me, maybe actually that's kind of it. Yeah. Out of 13 songs, it's actually mostly instrumental and programmed. There's like some guitar, but
it's great. I love it.
I'm stoked. I'm super stoked to listen to it, man. I have been listening. What have I been listening to recently?
Yeah, let's talk about what we've been listening to recently.
Well, you guys go first because I don't know.
So I'll give you mine. I guess. Let's see what I do. Okay, let's talk about the new Nas record, King's Disease 3. So Nas has just been on a hot streak since his Kanye EP. You remember when Kanye put out those 5 EPs during the summer of 2018, I think it was?
Yeah. Loosely. Did he have one with like Big Sean?
No, I don't think so.
2018. No, this is actually later in this might have been after I fell off the Kanye train. Because honestly, Graduation was kind of like the last record where I was like, all right, Kanye. I mean, The Life of Pablo was. I have weird things with Kanye. I'm very anti-Kanye.
I've never been on the Kanye. I know Kanye exists, but I feel like it's always like I've never willingly known anything about Kanye.
First 2 albums are stellar, but holy shit, man, he's it makes it hard to like. I mean, I can get over like I have Thriller on vinyl.
I know,
and I can get over it because Quincy Jones. That's Quincy Jones,
right?
And some other guy sang on it. Some guy with a really high pitched voice sang on it. but it's Quincy Jones to me. But this is one of those ones where I can't excuse it. I actually
I totally agree. I've
I
actually made
don't have
this.
any Kanye records.
I've made the same argument to other people where I'm like, I can still listen to Michael Jackson, and I'll give a few reasons, but I can't.
Mhm.
I can't listen. I don't think I can listen to Kanye anymore because
Nah,
I don't
it's not cool
know.
with me.
I don't know. It's just too much. It's
It's
too much.
maybe in like some time when
Yeah.
time has passed, like
Yeah.
I'll look
Yeah.
back on it as a relic,
Yeah.
as like
Totally.
this was like music in a time and a place. Because like I
Yeah.
listen to a lot of problematic, like Miles Davis. Like I just bought Milestone's
Right.
original copy,
Right.
mono. Like I don't support Miles Davis's behavior. I have
Right.
this poster of him because like I find his music to be beautiful.
Yeah.
I thought he was a cool, interesting cat, but like I'm very like,
Yeah.
nah, he was a
Yeah.
fucked up dude,
Yeah.
and like he really should have controlled his shit better.
Absolutely.
I just don't think that you can like. I think you can like understand that art is cool and like something, but like you have to like has to have that caveat. And with Kanye, that one's kind of inexcusable right now.
I think
It's just
yeah.
there's some really dangerous shit with that right now. I mean,
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving and the NBA. Like
Yeah.
I like to think that at least I studied a lot of African American history, and I like to keep in the know. And I think that there's just like some really dangerous cultural things happening that I've seen
Yeah.
with the youth and a lack of understanding of the bigger world. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. America's a scary place right now. I'm not
Yeah.
a huge fan of America
Of where we're at.
life.
Yeah.
If I could move, I would, but unfortunately, the financial implications of that just aren't a realistic possibility for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like well, and also I was gonna say Dave Chappelle was talking about that on SNL. He had a monologue last night where he talked about Kanye's shit, and he's like, "There's two words in a row that you can never say: the Jews." But of course, he delivered it in his Dave Chappelle way, and it was pretty great. But now Dave Chappelle is under fire because they're saying that his SNL monologue was like writing the line. So the fucking anti-Jewish defamation league or whatever is like,
put out a statement.
Yeah.
I don't. The thing, I guess I'm also coming off a really recent experience. I had a job in Washington D.C. And I got like a late flight out and was like, okay, I'm going to catch whatever museums fancy my interest. And I went to the American Holocaust Museum, and this is one of those, like, just like Jesse was saying earlier, I'm kind of in this black and white camp of like, this is not like a gray area. There's just like wrong and right here. And like, kind of nipping shit in the bud is always the best solution.
Yeah.
Being very final and like decisive and like saying like, this is not cool, because this shit, there's already a whole lot of crazy elements in America. Fucking the Pacific Northwest terrifies me almost as much as like the South. Driving through like Mississippi at night.
It is. I've told people that, to me, the Pacific Northwest is like if Wes Anderson had directed Get Out. It's like cute, quirky. They're like, we have Tibetan prayer flags. We have Tibetan prayer flags. We wouldn't possibly be racist. Don't you see our BLM sign? Come inside. It's like, it's insidious.
Oh man, and that's like the AB Haven. I don't know why, but like I kind of just have this like perverse interest in white nationalist groups. There's a while where I was just like a lurker on 4chan. It's more about understanding.
Yeah.
Like why somebody could say that, how somebody could say that, what's the context, and I'm looking at the linguistics of this too. Like what type of language is being used here.
What patterns have you found?
I've found a whole lot of like just like isolationist like concepts and themes. Like that's really, really, really prevalent. Things like we'd be better off, obviously the us them culture, incel culture as a whole is really prevalent, but it seems like the age group is growing. That's something that a couple years ago because I graduated college fairly recently, 2019 is when I finished grad school. So still like around young kids.
Yeah.
And it just seems to me that post-Trump, like there's like a whole lot of spillage in a whole lot of different areas. Like across a bunch of different socioeconomic
Yeah.
situations too, because the language is going to differ depending on the socioeconomic situation. If you're in a wealthy person, it's the border's really gotten out of control, or that type of language. But on the streets and stuff like that, I'm just hearing like on the internet too, just like, well, this feeling of being fed up, that they can't really put their finger on what they're fed up with. So it's just, you find the scary man,
Yeah.
the immigrants, or so it just really feels like the wave of fascism is taking root in Texas in a deep way. Like Texas is really secessionist. There's like a huge
Right.
secession movement in Texas, and it's legit. It's not just like some like crackpots that are like, wouldn't it be great if we had Texas dollars? Like they're just like serious about like, well, we'll take the American military jets and finding like ways and loopholes around the Constitution and shit. And every year they bring it up to a vote. It just hasn't passed yet.
Right.
It's a matter of time. But the gun thing has really bothered me recently. Especially since I travel so much and I see that it's not as bad other places. You go to like, I remember I was at a Nike store. Like I needed a new pair of like walking shoes. And a dude was shopping, trying on shoes with a fucking gap on his hip. And I'm like, brother, my brother in Christ. You're trying on shoes, my man. What do you think is going to go on here? Like, let's be cool.
Do you actually go up to him and say that, or you're just thinking that?
No.
Who the fuck's going up to the man with a gun? That man is already on edge. He's unhinged. I'm not trying to say shit to that motherfucker.
Damn, you see people with guns and you just simply walk the other way.
You
I
mind your fucking
have a
business.
zero tolerance for like that type of crazy shit. If I see
Right.
like two people fighting, cool.
Right.
And if I have people with me, all right, y'all, get in the car. Because I don't know. My parents are in the military, and like, I guess they've instilled like this just like huge sense of caution and like borderline anxiety about. I lived on a base that had nuclear missiles and bombs,
Right.
security and shit like that to get on base. It was just like felt like, I don't know, just made me into this like really like cautious person. So if I sense danger, I'm like, it's not worth it. Like
Right.
whatever's in the cart can be rebought. Let's just leave the grocery store, because you could get shot at a HEB very, very, very easily. That's like a very real possibility when you go grocery shopping. Somebody got stabbed at an HEB over on Riverside just recently. And
Right.
dude got hit with a machete in the head over by my favorite bar, Frazier's, off of South Pleasant Valley. Guy walking his dog just got smoked with another rando with a machete. Just random violence. Texas stresses me out, man.
That's absolutely very stressful. I also respect that. I think the idea that we need to intervene with everything, like I'm trying to live to see another day.
I'm not a hero.
I'm
I
not-
will be if like my fam's involved,
If
like
I
my loved ones, my dog. God forbid, Albus. Today, somebody had a loose dog. I didn't even think about it, man. I scooped Albus up and had my foot out ready, because like I don't know this dog.
Right.
Just nobody has to like take action all the time. Sometimes it's good to sense the situation and just like let it work itself out.
Yes.
Caution's not a terrible thing.
It's not. It's not a bad thing. I think it's smart sometimes to step back and process. And I'm not into escalating things. A lot of times, I think when people jump in and you're reactionary, you sometimes escalate things unintentionally. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
It's people are on edge too. Like I just assume everybody in the car in Texas is carrying, and like I use my middle fingers wisely.
Yeah.
Old man cuts me off. 50-50. Little old lady.
Yeah.
So but that being said, that like level of like just like low level of fear every day, just like, okay, I'm going about my day, running my errands, doing everything, but I know there's motherfuckers walking around with guns, and what if they're having a bad day, or what if they think somebody has a gun or is like just terrible. So
that's intense.
it is, man, and I think that it's getting worse. Beto lost. Beto represents a lot of hope, though, and like especially for like young people getting into the electoral process.
Skateboarding world.
Yeah, fucking.
For young
What was he-
people who
what-
want to skateboard up to a Whataburger and
He was never going to get elected after he
and
said
air-
he was going to take people's AR-15s.
Oh, he fucked it up then. That was bad.
Yeah, but he's a cool guy. Like he's
I know.
likable. Like he's like real. He's a real motherfucker.
He air drummed to Baba O'Reilly.
Hey,
That's got to count for something.
It's got to
right?
count for something.
It's got to count for fucking something.
He was in a rock and roll band with Omar Rodriguez Lopez. Is this true?
guy from the Mars Volta.
Or was it Cedric, or was it both of them, or I don't know.
I have no idea. I know that he was like a rocker. I don't. To be honest, I'm not too engaged. I lost faith a long time ago. You guys ever watch the Boone
in rock and roll?
In rock and roll? In rock and roll? Nah, it's actually recently I have. It's been a while. Greta Van Fleet destroyed my faith. My partner's younger sister's in college, and she's been like following Greta Van Fleet for like multiple shows, and like it makes me sick.
This one time, when I was in Vinyl Williams, Lionel and I stopped at the gas station, and the guy at the gas station looked at Lionel and was like, "You look like the guy in Greta Van Fleet." And Lionel was so mad. But it's like, he does. What are you gonna say? I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I would have milked it. I'd been like, "Yeah, I am. So is this free?
This is free?
Are these cigarettes for me then?
Yeah,
I'll sign a
exactly.
t-shirt.
Sign a t-shirt. Right. Let's go with it.
No, the guys that are like autograph mode. You want an autograph? Is that what you want?
So
I love
what
those
do you
cool
want?
guys.
Do y'all know about this boy band from Canada called the Moffats?
The Moffats?
They came out around the same time as Hanson, and they were 4-piece, but 3 of them were what's a twins? But 3X. What is that called? Triplets.
Triplets.
Yeah, sorry. 3 of them were triplets, and the 4th one was their first cousin or some shit, right?
That's got to be an interesting dynamic. I do. The name sounds familiar.
So,
Or
my cousin Anais, she was on the OG version of Degrassi, like the television show Degrassi.
Cool.
And she used to be a local celebrity. And so
Yeah.
I remember she babysat me once, and we went out to a restaurant, and the waiter was like, "Oh, were you Lucy on Degrassi?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then the waiter turned to me and was like, "Are you in the Moffats?" And I was like, I mean, I would want to be. I would want to be in that. Yes, that the idea of being in a band with like 3 of my brothers and we all play music together. That's like
Sounds
ideal.
tight.
Ideal.
Yes.
Sounds so cool.
It sounds so fucking cool. Yeah. I wish.
Jesse, do you play, or you? I know you sing, but do you have an instrument that you are fond of?
She's the Craig Jones of the operation.
Yeah, I'm the Craig Jones here. I mean,
Nice.
like I played a bass a little bit when I was a kid, but was any like good at it, right? You know, I could like plunk around. I could do a couple of chords for like a drunken like sing along version of like an Against Me song. But like, do I play anything? No. I'm a sauce guy. I it. You give me some maracas, I will bez it the fuck up on the maracas. All right.
I love that though. I love people that just like love to engage with music. My partner is pretty remittent to engage because she's not. And nobody in my family's musical. Like both of my parents like are just very anti-art people. They're like military people. They're like, we don't have time for art.
Right.
And then, you know, my brother and sister, like, they're like normie ass Gen Z kids.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, I mean, they're like, my brother was born in like, I think, 2000, and my sister was born in, no, my brother was born in 02, and my sister was born in 04.
What makes them normie? What's a Gen Z normie? Describe it.
So for me, it's like, they understand that the state of like America is not great, like long term, like 30, 40, 50 years. So like investing in like, you know, my brother dropped out of college, and that's cool. Cause like I've long since been a proponent of, if I could go back, I would not get degrees. I would go back and weld. I welded in high school. I love that shit. I would have just went to college for that, and I would have just did that. So my brother dropped out, and he was like, yeah, man, I don't know why I would get a degree. I don't know that it's going to matter too much, you know?
Yeah, I honestly feel the same way. I wish I went to a trade school.
Yeah, so he gets that, and that
I wish I went to a fucking trade school.
I'm a Peter
Me
Pan.
too, man.
I'm a Peter Pan. I'm like, I'm gonna be a pilot. That's my new dream.
I've been really in like lately. I've been following some pilots on Instagram because like I like looking inside the cockpit at all the buttons and stuff like that. But it seems overwhelming to me. I don't know. I think I'd get flustered with all the fucking options and decisions.
Yeah, there's a lot of memorization of like the panel. Yeah, and I have to quit smoking weed, which is gonna be the biggest hurdle. But you know what? It'll be a trade-off. I'll stop getting high one way and I'll get high another. Also, like you know, my grandpa was a pilot, and like I've like flown a glider plane with him, and you know my uncle flies, and so it feels like a lineage thing too, right? Where I could like carry on in that, and then it's like a fucking great skill, like a survival skill, right?
Yes.
You're ever on a plane and they're like, oh my god, does anybody know how to land this plane? Me, bitch. I know how to land the plane. That's right. I'm a pilot. I also came up.
Is there a pilot on board?
Yeah, like it's me. I also just came up with the term PILF. Like I really just want to be a PILF.
Oh god.
And I don't know if like anybody. I don't know if that's like taken off yet or if like that's a thing. But if it's not, I want it. I want a calendar. I want to make PILFs a thing.
Yeah.
You know.
That's cool. I'm terrified of flying still. I fly like once or twice a week, and every time I'm just like take off. I'm just like, okay, you got this, guys.
Right.
Don't fuck me up, please. And then once we're in the air, everything's cool.
Yeah.
I can normally sleep. And then landing, it's like, all right, nice and smooth now, nice and smooth.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Also, Breaking Bad fucked me up. What if the air traffic controller's having a bad day? What if his fucking daughter just died a couple weeks ago and he's back at work and he doesn't need to be?
Right.
That's I don't know. That really got into my head. Like the whole like, okay, who's controlling the skies? Who's making sure that you're okay up there?
Regular people like me. I'm gonna be flying the plane one day. You're gonna get on a plane, and then I'll be like, oh hey guys. We're about to take off.
The big pauses.
Yeah. We're going to be landing here shortly. Thank you for flying.
Yeah, I think you got to work on your bit, your little pitch, your pilot pitch, if you will.
Yeah.
They always have like that friendly like coming up from the flight.
Yeah.
We're like, boom.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll start the descent in about 15 minutes, and
that's too perky. It's too perky.
It's too perky for you.
No, I'm trying to be a PILF. I'm trying to be a fucking PILF. I'm trying to slow it down.
You could live stream yourself getting your hours in on Fit Simulator.
Ooh, that's a great one.
In a hot tub,
idea.
just like
in a hot tub.
Oh,
you could get like the stand.
I could just be doing my flight hours in a bikini. You know, where I'm just like I'm pilfing right now. It's literally I'm pilfing.
And making oh my god, double dipping.
I'm double dipping. I'm camming. I'm flying. I'm getting all the hours in. People are fucking jerking off. They're fucking wow. It's so impressive. Oh my god, she's so fucking smart. Oh,
I wonder when she's gonna become a pilot.
I wonder when she's gonna finally get her certification. Ah.
I think you would get a really great following that way. A really great supportive.
Yeah.
Content creators, man. I have a friend. I got to tell a dark story.
Tell it.
I have a friend who I will not name.
Do you know what we do a lot on the show is we tell our secrets or our gossip, and we don't tell the names. So
yeah. So this is a friend.
Yeah.
This is just a friend that I've known my whole life.
Yeah.
We grew up together. With slumber parties, all that shit. Gone through like the kids fights. We lived together. I lived in the town that we grew up in for 8 years, and I've known this guy for a long time. But one like seemingly overnight in like a month, my man's went from like a normal Instagram guy that like works out and takes pictures and videos of himself to like an OnlyFans guy, just like overnight. And
really,
that train like took off into the stratosphere.
What is an only like women pay or men as well pay to see him jerk off?
Men in this case pay for like solo guy content. I don't know because we talk about work more like in general sense, like, hey, work going okay? Yeah, busy. Business is good. I don't really care too much about the specifics. That's between him and his clients. But he's big. The other day, I knew he was big because one day he texted the group and was like, "Yo, I got nominated for an Adult Video
That's
Network
awesome.
Award.
That's so
Oh,
cool.
I was
hell
like,
yeah.
I was like, what is that? What is that? Did you apply for that? Did somebody like
Yeah,
nominate
yeah.
you? Like,
Well,
how does that work? And he was
okay.
like,
What
I
do you
don't
say?
know, but I'm not gonna accept
Yeah.
Why?
it. He's pretty private, to be honest. Like he gets recognized a little bit too much for the city that he lives in. Like I'm like remitting to even name the city,
Yeah,
but I
they
like helped
won't.
him move in. And when we were moving in, like, like a big ass U-Haul, like we're carrying couches and shit, and some guy pulls over. He's like, hey, are you the OnlyFans name? And boy's like,
That's so funny.
yeah. And I'm over here just like
He's like,
That's
holding
yep.
the couch with him, just like,
That's so
He's like,
funny.
that was my
and it's
dick. Yep. That was
but
me.
that relationship with content is super dark, and
Why? Tell
that
us more.
insight, it's just it dominates your time. Like, I think my friend has done a great job balancing, because they also work out a lot, so there's like a good discipline in their life
Hey,
to make it like organized.
Buttons, do you think I could be an OnlyFans guy?
Yeah.
I mean,
Tyler says yes. Buttons?
anybody can be an OnlyFans guy.
Well, okay.
Now, could you be a successful one? Because
Yeah.
most of those creators only make like a couple $100 a month.
Yeah.
Woo! Okay, I'm not. It's not for me.
Now, my friend is in the like 0.001 or
Fuck.
0.001.
Uh-huh.
0.01. I don't know how many subscribers, but enough to float the bills very comfortably.
Wow.
And it's really changed, a lot of their life. I mean, before they were just like a local normal homie working, college degree, working a job like everybody else, 9 to 5, working out when you can. And then but the relationship with that type of job, and what I've learned about how people don't expect content, how like a client of that type expects it, that shit is like blown my mind. I just didn't know that that existed so much. I don't know. Maybe
I don't think I could be an OnlyFans guy. I don't think
It's
so.
demanding.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
I couldn't handle the stress.
The content, the need to keep up with like new content, especially in a model like OnlyFans where you're having subscribers and you need to keep them happy and keep them there. I'm like, ugh.
When does it end? Does it end?
It's so much. It's so much work. It's so much grinding.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you're on tour forever.
I was like, to me, the whole point of sex work is that it's like, it's not easy money, baby, but it's fast money. And if it's not fast money, I don't want to fuck. Why the fuck would I do that? I have to like grind it out. My fucking, no, absolutely no. I'm like, that's not fun at all. The whole point of being a whore is that you get to do whatever you want, whenever you want.
Absolutely. I mean,
know?
I definitely think sex work is when taken as a choice. That's like a come up, right? Like I don't think that. I think about sustainability in work a lot. Like in my current job, like it feels like being like a tech bro is not sustainable. I just want to be a jazz bro,
Yeah.
By the way, Sam, Dami, JD Beck's album, and Jesse.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming that you've listened to jazz too, because you're into Billy. But that Dami, JD Beck album has blown the classical music out of my butt.
They're just so wild. It's so they're so young.
And Dami's a
They're
little
so just
shit.
like,
She's
what?
a little shit, man. She was like posting how she was cheating on her ESL lessons, and I used to TA for an ESL class, and I'm just like, if I had been the TA, maybe she would have like.
Tyler, I have a question. If we listened to that album together, do you think we would be able to figure out the harmony, like analyze it?
I've transcribed Not Tight. Me and a good friend here in Austin that I met in the gospel church scene, amazing bass player. We sat down and transcribed that over like 2 days. We did Not Tight.
Really?
Space Mountain is up next on my docket, and I think I've got Smile down. I've got the melody down, and I've mostly got the harmony.
Do you have Tight?
Yeah, Not Tight. Yeah,
or Not Tight. I mean,
yeah, Not Tight. Yeah, that's the first one that we transcribed.
Oh my god, that's.
I have my charts are dog shit the first time around. I normally just like write what I think it is, and then I just put it into a more legible form whenever I have time to be at a computer. But there's not a whole lot of friends that I have that will play that. But when I moved back to Lubbock, no bass player and a guitar player that are down. It's just that's in Austin. Everybody's that's really fucking tasty that I love, that I want to play with.
Yeah.
They're busy. They got gigs. They got fucking kids. They're flying to New York City. They're going to LA because they're badasses. And it's like, I love y'all, but like I just want to sit down and make some cool shit for like a weekend, guys.
Okay, here's the thing. Come to LA, come for a week. You can stay here, make a bunch of music. whatever other LA people you know, they can also come here. We'll all jam. I got microphones set up everywhere.
There's gonna be a hot tub.
There's a hot tub. I mean, yeah.
Oh, dude, we could sample that thing, man. Turn on the jets and fucking take that as like the white noise. Throw that through a synthesizer. Yeah.
How about, have you transcribed What Up or Smile or Bowling? Any of those?
No, God, bowling, dude. The bass on that is so tasty. No, Smile, I know the melody. Haven't got the harmony down on that, especially on that B section. Do dee 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 dee. I've also been transcribing on my melodica a lot since I'm on the road and I don't have access to like my keyboards. So
that's awesome.
Every now and again, yeah, that or like my little app on my phone, and I'm just like listening to something on my computer and just like trying to like figure it out and like jot it down so that when I go home, I have a keyboard, I can try and figure it out more robustly.
Right.
That's been the biggest bane of my life right now. It's just like I finally got to a place. I've been going to Switched On a lot.
Sweet.
John French,
I love Switched On. I love Switched
dude,
On.
John is like the fucking shit, man. I've never met like another synth cat like that just like was like loved synths that much. I mean, that shop is magic, man. But I've had all my synths fixed up.
You know,
Sans one.
The dudes from like the dudes who make the music for Stranger Things, they used to work there.
Makes sense. Probably where they got a Juno 106 on the cheap. There's one at the shop the other day.
I bought a Q cord from I think Michael Stein sold me that Q cord. Wow, I've never put that together. That's such a like a random piece of
that's pretty gnarly
fluff that like is, you know, it's like a speck of like crystal juice.
I love gear, man, but like right now, like I have recording gear I'm like a little short on. I have like a duet that's been through the ringer, but I have all the synths I've ever wanted, man. And then I have a acoustic piano in Lubbock. It's been in the storage unit for
so you're gonna buy
year and a half.
You're gonna buy a new keyboard in LA?
I want to, man. I want to get a new Rhodes. They make a reissue, like where they like, you know, repurpose all the parts. And it's like brand new. And that's an idea, but I'm also thinking about restoring mine. Which would mean, and I'm not going to pay the $500 to ship it. Like I'll just drive. I actually get an electric vehicle next week. It's pretty sick.
That's
no more gas powered vehicle. Yeah.
Full electric?
My partner and I ordered this electric Volkswagen last year. We had like a really frank discussion for like a couple of weeks where we were just like, well, look, this is also like during some like higher gas prices.
Yeah.
We're like long-term wise, like what's the deal here? What should we do? And we're like, okay, well, let's order it. It has a refundable deposit. And then after like 6 months, we're like, all right, it's probably just like not like a real thing anymore. And then sure shit, it's real. So
how are you going to be able to charge it when driving across like long term?
So there's like there's a pretty good charging network. Like you could definitely get to LA. You would go probably to like Albuquerque and then to Phoenix and then to like LA, and like, you know, there's stops along the way. But there's a lot of apps that will like map out your trip.
I see.
Look at your vehicle, look at your range, and like tell you when to stop and charge. It is definitely going to be an adjustment, but I'm pretty pessimistic about like the odds of like, you know, society really living through like some of this crazy shit, like the whole society like not having like a massive bad thing happen. But I'm gonna try and do my part where I can, and like I don't particularly like gas powered cars. I'm looking. My partner and I are really interested in like getting a commercial building in like a small ass town, middle of nowhere, Texas. And like we have a friend right now in a small town where Waylon Jennings is from, just outside of Lubbock, and he has a studio, recording studio. He used to live in the Bay Area. Noise guy, Andrew Weathers, really good, really great guy.
So you would get a commercial warehouse space.
Take a commercial building, and just like make it into a loft, man. Like make most of it like the studio, and then like, because living quarter wise, like modern amenities are pretty. I would just say I can go without a whole lot of things that I have right now. Don't need everything that I got. Bare bones is sometimes cool.
Right.
Focus more time to focus on shit. But that's like long-term plan. That's also why like I have like a regular ass job, because I can't buy a house in Austin, and like having a home is kind of important to me.
Yep.
You know, just like a
Yep.
place that's like mine, that like motherfuckers can just like the bank can't fucking touch me, the
Yeah.
man can't touch me,
Yeah.
like it's my casa.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a commercial building, that means like I, you know, have like a space to do things. My partner is also into, she builds shit. She's really cool. She's
Oh,
an
yeah.
artist.
That's awesome.
She does big, large scale murals. She likes building furniture and shit. She's just always designing shit.
Mm-hmm.
She's super awesome.
Okay.
And yeah, just like space to make shit, man. I don't know. And like,
Yeah.
I can't do that like in the city, really. Like, it's hard to like use power tools and shit like that in the city. Build like a fucking desk and shit. I just have another desk that I'm about to just like take apart and make into like a scent stand.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like spec it out, you know.
Yeah.
I like doing weird shit like that, and I need my space to do that. And I feel
Yeah.
like I'm in an apartment for the first time in a long time.
Right.
Because in Lubbock, I mean, I'm sure you remember Gypsy House. It was a fantastic, like 2,400 square foot house
Yeah.
with like 3 sheds in the back and a giant
Yeah.
backyard and
Big
shit.
house.
That was like 1,500 bucks a month.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I'm always lived in a house, and like this apartment shit really like cram my style. You know, it's cool though. Being in the city, you get to like do city things, like look at museums, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I went tubing a lot. That was my favorite thing that I did in Austin.
What's that place called? Schlederbaum or whatever?
Not Schlitterbahn. To the river in San Marcos to like float the river, just like
Dude, this one
getting in
time.
the tube, smoking weed.
Okay, this one time I went to this hidden beach, Secret Beach. Do you know this place, Secret Beach?
Secret beach. Is it like a green like a green space where it's just like a little pool?
I don't even. It was like a floating river. It led to a floating
Cool.
river, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, I'm just gonna like ride it, and it was really fun until my girlfriend at the time started. She was like, I'm gonna do it too, and then she started panicking, you know.
Yeah,
And then it turned into a whole thing. Anyways.
Then it turned into a concern, sure.
Yeah.
But no, man, floating the river for me was like one of the West Texas is dry as hell. There's no bodies of water. So, you know, being in Austin, like being near some water was like,
here's the
what
thing.
is this strange substance?
Here's a thing that's weird. A weird observation I made about Lubbock. You ready? You're not going to expect this. This is coming out of left field. All right. There is a freshie in Lubbock, Texas. Freshii. A freshie.
What is that?
It's just like mediocre sandwiches, salady, juicy kind of bullshit.
Oh, headquarters in Canada. Cool. Toronto.
That's why I know it.
Yeah.
Because it started in Toronto. I was there. There's the high school I used to go to. I'm so mad about this. When I went to the high school, it was like a shit cafeteria. 10 years later, it's now like a freshie. They have a freshie cafeteria. Okay, so that and there is a freshie.
And Lubbock has one?
There's a freshie in Lubbock. I went to it.
Bullshit.
Look it up. I went.
I'm looking it up.
I saw it and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
What the fuck?
And
There
then
is one.
and then I pulled.
Permanently closed. It is closed. It is closed now. I'm
it's
sorry
closed
about
now.
that, Sam.
Yeah.
I did hate to burst, but yeah, it probably didn't survive the pandemic because that was pre-pandemic, I'm assuming.
But how did Freshie end up in Lubbock? Like
Weird.
weird.
Huh.
I don't know. Maybe there's like a small Mennonite community that's from Canada. Good friend of mine's family is part of that community. Maybe
That's cool.
I wonder because like maybe it's a franchise. You know what I mean?
As far as I
don't
know,
know.
Freshie was developed by some Jewish guy from Toronto.
Oh, is it kosher?
I don't know. Maybe. I haven't thought about it.
I've never heard of a freshie until just now. And Lubbock, man, there's actually surprisingly a lot of good food in Lubbock. I think there being a college town is part of it. You know, like the food truck culture is strong, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the Mexican food in Lubbock is really good. I'm a huge fan. Tex-Mex is I'm still not a Tex-Mex fan personally.
I miss queso. I really miss queso. You're not a queso person?
I am. Is
this the one
It's
thing
also-
we're going to disagree on ever in life? Is around
No,
queso?
like if there's queso on the table, like I'm gonna eat some. Like I'm not gonna, I don't disrespect the queso, but I'm also just not like super excited about it. You know, like at this point in my life, cheese, I blue cheese is like the last remaining cheese that still is just like, ooh, fuck, that
Wow.
was some shit.
Wow. 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 Wow.
The rest of cheese, like I kind of just like I've been trying to lay off the cheese, man.
Oh well, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
as I'm
It's a
getting
good
older,
idea.
it's weird.
It's a
For a
good
long time, I could just eat whatever I wanted, and now my birthday's on Thanksgiving. I think I'll be 20.
I woke up
What
with
year
a.
is it?
I woke up with a.
2022.
I woke up with a bloody nose today.
Really?
Yeah.
You're
Is it dry?
fragile.
Yeah, it was dry, but like it felt like plugged. So when I blew my nose, it was just it was blood.
Fragile.
Gross.
Lot of things. Always something.
It's just because my ancestors, well, there's a specific set that were, I believe, second or third cousins, and the reason and that's just a common thing with Ashkenazi Jews, right? Because they lived in these small villages and they can only fuck each other. So now there's just so many weird genetic defects and just weird, like, we all 8 out of 10 Jews have IBS, eye problems.
Really?
Oh my God, yeah, we're a mess.
The eye problems I had, that's something I had heard, but
All sorts of
IBS
stuff.
I didn't know.
There's all sorts of stuff. Yeah, so there's like
Man, health is that's such like genes are like makes me feel weird because like I know that they're like there's technology now where you can like, change certain things like that, you know, and before like when the baby's in utero.
right.
My favorite Nirvana, by the way.
My favorite Nirvana album as well. Okay, we're back on
Nice.
track. We're back on track.
Nice. We're back. We're back.
We're back. Yeah.
Almost tiny divergence with
With the cheese, it's just the
the
cheese
cheese. It's
thing.
just the
But-
cheese.
It's just the cheese.
I don't know, like genes, like breeding and stuff. Like when I got this pug, it's also like made me re-look at some things in terms of like
Okay.
I don't know.
Jews are the pugs of like we're the.
I have to
that's-
ask. Has anybody given you shit? Because like some people have given me shit, and it's honestly like kind of a sensitive point for me about pugs. When people are like, "You shouldn't own a pug. You're a terrible fucking human being, you scumbag," and I'm just like, I treat my dog like a fucking legend, and he's neutered. Like, let's relax.
Right.
Do you guys get any shit for having a pug?
Not really. People
No,
love
and if
Tiki.
anybody did, I wouldn't be receptive to it. I'm just like smooth brain, no wrinkle. I'm like, what? You don't like Puggy? Why? Why do you not like cute animals or something?
She
Or
has the scissors in her mouth right now. It's so cute. She just dropped it out of her mouth.
Once again, the child with the weapons.
Ornery little creatures.
She's forged a weapon and grabbed a weapon, and was that not the cutest thing you've ever seen?
It was pretty adorable.
Like, how can anyone see that and be like, and not be like, that's the fucking cutest thing I've ever seen in my life? She literally had the
I don't
scissors.
know.
As far as
And then,
pugs go,
and then when we looked at her, she like dropped it out of her mouth, like she was.
as
she
far
knew
as
she was
pugs
being
go,
bad.
she is actually quite athletic.
She's
And
fast.
Yeah.
And it's
She
because
looks great.
she's not as smushy faced as some other pugs, and
She has a bit of a snout.
she's like kind of a snoogly, you know, she's still a pug, so she's still a, but not
Yeah.
nearly as intensely. And I think that's why she's so athletic, is because she's able to fucking breathe and get oxygen.
Did she do any tricks?
She definitely does.
Do some
She's
tricks.
a little
Oh my
ballerina.
I'm gonna get some water while you do tricks.
I'm like, you want to dance? To be a little ballerina? Come.
Jesse, are you a dog person?
Oh, definitely.
Like 100%? Are you anti-cat or are you like, do you tolerate?
I like all animals. Part of my life I grew up out in the country, so
Sick.
I like all animals except for raccoons and goats. Those are the only animals I make fun. Pudding, come here. She's like, no way, that's not cool. I don't want to do this anymore. Come here.
You grew up in the country in California?
No, so I was born in Venice, Culver City, like LA area. But then I was raised up in the Pacific Northwest. That's why
Cool.
I'm like, oh yeah, I intimately know how weird Portland can be. But part of that time I grew up like out in the country, like an hour outside of Portland, in a small logging town where they filmed
Oh.
Axemen, that History Channel. You know, like there was like
Mhm,
the reality
mhm.
TV wave.
Oh
and they
yeah.
were like,
I'm familiar.
yeah, they're like, you know, dangerous catch, whatever, fishermen. And they were like, let's do loggers too. Let's do other working class people that die at work regularly. But it was like such a trip when that show came out because there's like dudes that like made fun of me and called me a dyke in 7th grade, just being like, yeah, it's really hard out there. You never know. Like if today's
Oh
gonna
my
be the last
god.
day, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, I saw you piss yourself at a fucking bonfire, bro. So, but yeah, no. So I grew up in the country for like 12 to 16. You know.
Vernonia,
What would you say?
Washington,
Hey,
Oregon.
Yeah, from New Oregon.
what would you say is the worst like country habit that you've maintained, if you have one?
Oh yeah, do you have a country habit? I can tell you, for me, it's just saying A, I guess. Ending things with A.
I'm trying to think. Country habits. I mean, I do like to get drunk and shoot guns.
There it is. There it is.
Do I do that regularly because I live in LA? Absolutely not.
Sure,
But
that seems like that's hard to come by.
oh, you could come by. You could come by, but it's different vibe. Different vibe for sure.
I think you have to run afterwards, right? Like you don't get to like laugh and like
Yeah, no, you
crush
don't.
beer.
Yeah, no, you're like with somebody and they have a gun and you're like, where did you get the gun? And then why are we gonna shoot it? And then we're gonna have to leave somewhere. And then
Yeah.
totally different vibe. But yeah, it doesn't really happen here. But if somebody was like, do you want to go out to the desert and get drunk and shoot at cans? I'd say yes. Yeah.
Are you a hot weather or a cold weather person?
A hot weather, 100%.
Hot weather.
Cool.
I mean,
Man, the Lubbock Desert's pretty sick, but it gets cold.
I'm from Canada, and then I lived in Boston, and I just decided at one point that I wanted to get away from any snowy, cold, East Coast asshole, elitist, I don't know, culture that I didn't like.
There's something really magical about LA and just California in general. Like that sunshine is really good. I've spent like 4 weeks in San Diego in the last 2 months. No, in the last.
But their
since
shrimp tacos were mid though.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the shrimp burrito.
Too. I was like, damn, San Diego. They're so close to the border. I'm disappointed that they let you down. You know.
That's probably where I went, but I will say that the Vietnamese food and the Thai food that I had there was pretty bomb.
Dope.
Sometimes that's hard to come by in Lubbock. There is like one really great Korean spot, but there's not like a whole lot of great Asian food in general. Just like mostly like steaks and shitty. There's no seafood. If you eat seafood in Lubbock, you are a bold, brave person.
Fuck, I love seafood. I'm just, that is the fastest way to my heart. You're like a seafood boil, oysters, anything seafood. I'm just like, yes, let's do it. Like being landlocked is a deep fear.
Yeah,
I need to be by the
know.
water.
That's what I'm saying. The sunshine and the water, like it feels like I felt like it was good for me. I felt better, and I definitely felt like more creative. I don't know. I had a great time in California. I love going to California. I just can't live there. I'm so petrified of the environmental hazards of California.
Yeah.
Wildfires and earthquakes are literally fuck me up with a tornado. Take my whole shit. I don't care.
Right.
Flood, I'm pretty okay. Yeah. In most places in Lubbock, you're okay. But like earthquakes, you can't do nothing about that.
No.
That's just,
what it is. I've slept through many earthquakes. And I'll wake up with a headache. I'm like, oh, what the fuck, right? And then I'll look on the news, and it's like, oh, that was like a level 6. I don't know the
Richter scale,
yeah. And it's like, what? I didn't really. At what time? Oh, I was asleep. It makes sense. And,
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's terrifying. I mean, LA's a cruel mistress, right? It's just like she's hot. But she's mean.
Yeah.
And you're like,
when is she gonna burn you?
Damn, but she's so hot, and you just put up with it because you're just like, she's fucking hot. I'm in love. But it's.
How long have you been in LA, Jesse?
I've been back now about 6-7 years, and I would be hard pressed to leave, even though I know that it's like the rent is ridiculous. And I'm just like, I'll make it work, baby. I love it here. I love it so much. And she's like, yeah, whatever. When are you going to buy me that purse I want? And I'm like, oh, I'm working on it, baby. I swear next week I'll get an advance on my paycheck, baby. Don't leave me. She's like, okay, I guess. And I'm like, okay, thank God. You know,
That reminds
It's
me
a
of
violent relationship.
it is. It's probably slightly like abusive. I'm just like, I love it though.
that reminds me of Gil from The Simpsons. Do you remember Gil?
I don't remember Gil.
He's very sweaty. You know, he's like
Which one is
I'm
Gil?
sweaty.
he's voiced by Phil Hartman, I think. He's like,
Oh yeah, I remember Gil.
Gil's got to make a deal. Gil's got to make a deal.
Yeah, he's like always like panicking.
Panicking.
Yeah.
Panicky, sweaty
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
That sounds relatable.
Let's listen to music that you engineered. Did you mix this record?
Yeah, so my homie Will like tracked this shit, and God bless Will. He's a very just like, I'll do it with whatever I got. But yeah, he just like recorded a lot of shit through some weird task cams and shit like that. And he's like, yo, I need help putting this together. So we buckled down whenever I moved to Austin. We just came over to my apartment, mixed this record, and then sent it off to get mastered by a friend that lives in Littlefield, Texas, Andrew Weathers of Windtide Studios.
Mm-hmm.
And Andrew's really great. And Will put together a really cool record. He got like a synthesizer for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been a strong like acoustic guitar songwriter. Like he'll play something interesting, but he got a synthesizer and a pedal steel. One of his uncles is like an artist in West Texas from like the Terry Allen days of Lubbock. I don't know if you're familiar with Terry Allen. Lubbock on Everything.
No.
Lubbock on Everything is like a seminal like West Texas album by Terry Allen, who's
Looking
like a
up
fairly well-known American artist, painter as well.
What's his song? Terry Allen?
Lubbock on Everything is the album. That whole thing slaps, man. It's just good old fucking West Texas. Like it's like the evolution of country music in a isolated environment. Lubbock's always had like a strong country root, like in most of the music that got popular. But Buddy Holly, Buddy Holly was like, I don't know what you call that. I call it like it's rock in my head, but it's also like not, Creed.
Right.
Like
Proto rock.
Yeah, proto rock, right? Like the nebulous of rock, like forming.
Yeah.
So Lubbock is cool, and Will is super cool. Will, I can't say enough good things about him. He's really like thoughtful in how he pieces his music together, and like I fucking hate mixing, and I specifically hate mixing other people's shit because you sacrifice the ability to listen to it as novel. Like I don't listen to this record at all. I haven't listened to it since it came out. I don't ever listen to it because I know it. Every moment of that song I already know before anything's happened. So when I hear it, it's like just too self-critiquing.
All right, so we're gonna listen to Two Bald Women of Dawson County.
Dawson County. Yep.
Let's do this.
Oh man, that's not
We're listening to it right now.
How do you feel about the pedal steel, Sam?
It's really cool. Like, the song is really atmospheric.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really gives me a picture of like West Texas. Like I can feel the vast nothingness.
It's like there's a
Yeah.
eerie haunting
Yeah.
kind of vibe in there, but it's classic, but also it does give it a different edge and a feel to it that feels
Oh,
modern.
Edge. Can I want to say something about the Edge.
Uh-huh.
It sounds like early 90s U2. Like the atmospherics sound like the Edge to me. And but like meets Johnny Cash
Yeah.
country
It was still dreamy.
edition. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that-
yeah.
The dreaminess.
And that was like a huge thing that he like wanted to achieve, because the thing that really bit me in the butt was that he tracked all of it on his own, and like Will, bless his heart, his ears suck, man. He's like deaf from playing so loud, so everything's hot.
Oh.
And he has a big ass vintage Fender amp that one of our favorite amp techs in Lubbock, this old crusty dude who's also from Littlefield, where Waylon Jennings is from, Wally Sanders, best amp tech in West Texas. He modded out this amp so like one of the channels is just like god shit hot. It's like just
Right.
fire out of his amp, and he's like, okay, yeah, no, this sounds good. And then like, kind of like reining that in to
Yeah.
like give it some sense of like layer.
Yeah.
That was like a really big challenge specifically on that song because of all the guitar. But he also just got into like atmospheric shit. Like a long time ago, he was just acoustic guitar. Like, let me tell you a story
Right.
on and he got a Minilog, a Korg Minilog. I'm a huge fan of the Korg Minilog used by King Cruel.
We love
I
the
had one for a
we
while.
love the Minilog
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Right now I'm on a Prologue. God, that took me a year to save up for. Like I saved all my gig money for a whole year, and I got myself a Prologue. It was like one of my happiest days. Meeting like the FedEx guy at his truck, just like running.
That's so
Aw.
cool.
Yeah, but Will really like, came up with some really interesting shit. And I was super happy on that. Cal Neva is probably my favorite song on that record. I think that's like I think that's a huge work of art. It's a huge composition.
Yeah.
It's like something like 70 tracks in Logic. My computer
Wow.
was fucking shutting off. Like, I was trying to bounce that thing and my shit would crash. It was terrible.
Wow. Yeah.
You just do, but you know what I mean? You just do like what you can with what you have. Like I don't have, I have a lot of great synths but I don't have a lot of great recording gear.
So did you do any overdubs, like any synthy atmospheric overdubs on the record?
A lot of it was actually piecemeal. He recorded that kind of over like 2 years at a bunch of different locations. The drums, I drove to Lockhart where he was living with a guy that plays in Rattlesnake Milk, and we just like used 3 mics, like 358s, because that's all we had, and like put one on snare, one in the kick, and then just like hung one from the ceiling fan for like overhead, just like real janky shit.
That it makes sense why his beat is so minimal, because you don't want cymbals to fucking ruin the whole thing.
Right, and like so we were really limited in that, but
that makes cool shit sometimes, right? Being limited.
Absolutely, and that's kind of his style too. He's a shit kicker like that. He like his favorite thing to do when we lived together would like sit outside with a 6-pack of Lone Star Tall Boys, and 2 packs of cigarettes, and he would just watch comedy videos on his phone all night, just outside, like in like 15-degree weather with a jacket next to a heater, just like smoking cigarettes and drinking beer.
Yeah.
That type of dude he is, type of life he's lived, but he's a really interesting dude. Working on records is like really hard for me because I just want to donate like everything. It just becomes like the sole focus of what I'm doing.
Right.
So I try not to do it too often. After my jazz record too, I was like, fuck, man. Like I was just tired. Is that fucking meme or TikTok video where it's like, today drained me. So I really appreciate how much like work you've been able to do over, since you were like a kid, because I know that you've been recording since forever.
Yeah, I
love Nuclear Puke. That's some of my favorite work of Schmooze.
Nuclear Puke was a punk band I was in with my cousins when I would sing and play drums, and like all of our recordings were just like a shitty little tape recorder, and we would surround it with pillows.
Yeah.
And then we would put the amps outside of the pillows, and then I had an amp as well for my vocals, just like a monitor, and then no mics on the drums, and then that's how we recorded.
That's sick as hell.
Yeah, it's raw.
It's so punk. Yeah, it's
so punk. It's so punk, and they're so young. They're so they Shmoo's voice. He has not hit like puberty's strides yet, you know. So it's so cute and whiny. It's very high pitched. It's very shrimpy, and it's like angsty little shrimpy boy. It's everything I want.
I think I have it on the computer.
If you could play Nuclear Puke right now,
I'm gonna look for it. Just give me a second.
And the thing is I'm like they're talented kids, you know. Like it's got a vibe. Some of the songs like have a vibe, you know.
All right.
Oh man, that's super sick. I didn't get into music until I was kind of late. Like high school is when I started. I was like, oh, music can be cool. Played percussion. I was a mallet guy.
Nice.
But I didn't like record music or even think about that until like I was in college. Like I really just happened to meet some guys that were like, yeah, we play guitars and record music. You should come hang out with us. And I was like, okay.
That's sick.
Are there keyboards? So,
I found
I feel real young in music, even though like I'm like 28. I still just feel like everything's like real novel to me within music, like especially within recording. I don't know dick about how to do shit professionally. I just do it until it sounds like right. You know,
yeah.
Move on, make decisions, and that's so I don't consider that's also why I don't mix shit because I'm not an appropriate person to do that. I don't know. That's how I feel about it. I do think that there's like something to be said about going to somebody that's what they do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I just record. When I was at Texas Tech, they had a recording studio that you could use for free. So that's where I recorded like my jazz record because I was like, oh, sick. I can just schedule this to do this on my time.
Hell
and the
yeah.
person that ran the studio was cool. She was like a homie and super cool. Amy DeVoe, a solid engineer. So and she's Canadian too.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, she is.
Where's she
French
from in
Canadian.
Canada? Oh, okay. The others.
The others, indeed. I claim Manitoba and a little bit of Saskatchewan because I lived in North Dakota for so long. I used to find, dude. Yes, I have
been in
many
Manitoba?
Canadian adventures.
Holy
Mostly
shit.
fishing, man.
I had a girlfriend.
Fishing and riding ice machines or snow machines.
I had a girlfriend who lived in Winnipeg, and I went to Winnipeg for a week.
Yeah. The town that I got expelled from one high school in Minot, North Dakota, and had to go to a much smaller school that was like kind of 45 minutes away from the Canadian border called Glenburn.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa,
So like when I played football, we had like a co-op because we didn't have enough like in our one school to have a football team, so we had 3 other towns. And one of them was a town that was like literally 10, 15 minutes away from the Canadian border. So like I got like introduced to a whole lot of Canadian culture from both Manitoba and Saskatchewan.
That is
like a lot of
really
my teammates and shit had like dual citizenship.
You went to Saskatchewan?
Yeah, Saskatchewan. Sick.
Where'd you go? Like Saskatoon or whatever?
That's where the
Regina.
Bowl.
Did you go to Regina?
Regina, yeah, because they have a water park there. They have a huge indoor water park there.
Right.
It's sick as hell.
Right.
But I remember playing a bowl game that you play like in high school football or whatever in Canada, and we were like on the North Dakota side. It was cool. But yeah, Canadians are cool. I've always found them to be like as a culture, like Canadian culture of like interacting with others. I'm super pro that. I think that they treat people with like in Canada. I never felt disrespected, but in the South, I've heard enough hard R's for a lifetime. It feels like in Texas and like from Texas all the way to like Georgia, it's just like filled with like old hate. In Canada, it always was like, "Hey man, we're all cool here." Hey man.
Hey bro. Yeah, I guess a Canadian would say like, "Hey pal, hey bro."
Hey pal, hey pal.
Hey pal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
bro. Well, I guess also the Midwestern thing, the Midwestern accent.
There's like a lot of synonymous elements, I would say, culture that share between Canada and like
Minnesota and Wisconsin and all that stuff. Yeah, I would agree with that.
I heard that that's supposed to be like one of the most positively affected places from climate change, meaning like it's not going to disrupt like as many environmental things. But I mean,
so you're saying we should move to South Dakota?
No, crazy thought, but I would say that Montana,
Uh-huh.
or when Kanye's ranch inevitably gets foreclosed on,
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
we jump in,
We jump in it.
Yeah.
and then becomes like, oh man,
A
that
music
just a Wyoming
compound.
ranch, exactly.
I
Cool.
want a Wyoming ranch.
Are you guys Queens of the Stone Age fans?
Sure. I saw
Uh,
them in let's see. I saw them on the Rated R tour, I think. I saw them on Songs for the I okay, no, hold on. I saw them on Songs for the Deaf and then after the Songs for the Deaf era, like their
so sick.
but like with Rage Against the Machine the second time.
Mm,
And it was like kind of way too loud. I remember
yeah,
feeling like I fucked up by not bringing earplugs. It was just teeth shatteringly loud.
Mm.
I love Songs for the Deaf. That record really changed my life. That fill on Songs for the Dead.
Uh huh.
There's like a triplet fill that, like, I used to play drums in high school. I'm terrible.
Wait, are you talking about the fill in No One Knows?
No, not at No One
Oh,
Knows.
okay.
Hold on. It's no, because it's the one. It is Songs for the Dead, where it's like they like have like that like intro part, and then there's like the bulk of the song, and then they have like
Uh-huh.
an outro section that's like kind of hot. I think it's like running. It's running pretty fast tempo.
Okay.
Anyway, that song really changed my like life, because I was like, rock drums are cool. Like that's
Yeah.
like you can do some really interesting things. Before that, I always thought that jazz drumming was like the superior drumming, because I got introduced to like Tony Williams like real young. And I was like,
Dude,
oh, there's like nobody better than that, right? Like,
Tony
surely.
Williams
But
is
then
that's my favorite drummer.
there you go. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Very apt. But that's like one flavor of drumming, like one type of communication. And I
Yeah.
think what Dave Grohl did with Nirvana is fucking like Ringo Starr-esque, right? It's like
I
perfect.
agree. Yeah, it's perfect rock
Um,
drums.
Queens of the Stone Age, though, that shit fucking rips.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
except I heard that Josh Holmes guy kicked somebody, and
Josh
that's not
Holmes.
cool.
He kicked.
Have you seen the
Oh,
video?
what you're talking about when he like kicked a photographer, a female
Yeah, it was
photographer
like,
in the face?
yeah, in the face.
Oh
Yeah,
fuck.
it's rude
Yeah.
as hell. That and
That's
Afro Man
spicy.
punching a fan. Those are like two videos that reign supreme. And like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Hey, man, I thought that your one single, because I got high, was cool, but you can't just be like decking people."
Do you mind if I find this Afro Man clip?
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay.
It's Afro Man punches a fan. Like somebody jumped on stage, and understandably, like he was upset, but I would just like leave. Personally, I'd be like, "Okay, we're done here."
Whoa.
Like Steve Lacy, they were throwing shit at
Whoa!
Steve Lacy.
Oh
Holy
shit.
shit!
Yeah, like that's not okay, man.
He
Like, that's not how
decks
you
him.
handle that.
Wow. Wait, that was a female fan? Oh.
I don't remember the. I don't
Oh.
remember that aspect. I just remember that it was a fan.
That's really bad.
Oh.
Oh, that's really bad. Now that I know that. Oh, that is hardcore assault right there. Holy shit.
Ever since then, I have never listened to Because I Got High. I watched that video so much when I was in middle school on YouTube. That's like when I first discovered YouTube. I was
Wait.
like, wow, this
Damn it!
video is great.
Hold on.
I can be deal without that song, but Colt 45 and 2. I can't.
Yeah,
Like
that music video. Fucking
Wait, but hold on. You just unpacked something that I didn't even know existed. I was unaware as to why Afro Man got canceled, and you just explained a gap in my knowledge that I didn't even know I needed to know.
that was rough. That was rough.
Yeah, it's
It was
Well, like, now-
that was way too. That was
I'm saying needed to know in the
Yeah.
sense that like I know that about him, and I can't believe
like I wouldn't
it.
play on a bill with Afro.
No,
they're
that's
like, hey
crazy.
man, they're like, we really love your shit. We'll fly you out. We'll pay you X amount.
I mean, and I'm like, I'm sorry. You just
Wow.
Like,
So
if you
that's
sub Afro Man.
wait. So
Toro
that's
Iwao
that.
or something?
You can confirm this is what ended his career, right?
I
don't
mean,
know about
he
his career
sucked the fuck out of her. That was
That
Well, hey,
was
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I can't. Again, this is somebody that I'm not going to name, but a cat that I grew up with that got into the weed game, opened a dispensary in a state where recreational, it's legal.
Uh-huh.
And at their grand opening, Afro Man was slated to play.
Uh-huh.
He didn't show up, but he was slated to play.
I'll
And
t-
I was like, oh, so he's still like taking bookings, but like maybe like not as actively.
Right.
I don't remember if he canceled for like COVID or what, but I just know it never came into fruition. But
Mm.
I saw like the flyer for it, and I was like, oh, so he's still out there.
He's still out there.
This
He's on the prowl.
this one time
He's hoping that all the stoners just got high and forgot.
Oh my god.
And honestly, if you didn't see the clip, I didn't know. For some reason I didn't know that any of that had happened.
I don't even remember how that came on my radar, but I was a World Star kid for a long time, so I believe that would have been the medium. Terrible things, man.
I used to
Internet
watch.
is a
Yeah,
terrible
I
thing.
watched World Star in like the early 2000s, at its inception.
I'm almost done with the internet. Like I can see myself not using like
Yeah.
my computer other than to like use music or like
Right.
I only compose music. I don't have the capacity to write out sheet music, so I just do it on my computer.
Right.
Shit breaks my brain. But yeah, the internet's kind of toxic. I've been thinking about deleting Twitter ever since. So I have like, I follow like Russian things or whatever because I have like friends in Russia. They're not really friends anymore because like certain posts, certain things just like don't seem cool. It's really complicated because like the culture there is so like you're brainwashed for sure.
Right.
You don't know any better. You don't know any better. Like you literally cannot conceive of like what the West really looks like, especially if you grew up in some buttfuck place in Russia, not in like Moscow or St. Petersburg.
Right.
But ever since Elon Musk took over Twitter, I have been getting bombarded. My Twitter's private. It's just like some bullshit name, and it's like me and my like 50 friends that I still like tweet with and tweet about dumb shit. And I keep getting these follower requests, and they're all from like Russian bots. They're all from Russian bots, and shit's got me spooked.
Why?
Think about deleting Twitter.
What about it has you spooked?
Something tells me that like when Elon Musk was firing people and like changing like things within, because it's a private company now, right? Like
Yes,
Twitter
yeah.
doesn't answer to like shareholders. They don't answer to a board. They answer to Elon
Musk.
So as he's making decisions, I just get to this. Something tells me from like my interaction with the app that certain elements are like degrading, and maybe the algorithm's changing or something like that.
Oh well,
they're laying people off.
They're
Is like a sign.
They're going through a shit show right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that like they laid off people, then they asked them people to come back, and like some of these people were crucial, workers on certain items within Twitter.
What about the gray check marks that were only available for 4 hours?
I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. I think that whole thing with people impersonating shit, like I'm all for it. Just eco-terrorism, baby. Bring it on the app.
I love that too. I was like, you know what? That's great.
Like you fucking deserve this, Elon. Because like honestly, this is just him, his ego. He's not a smart man. Nothing about him has struck me as a smart man. He strikes me as like the ultimate con man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's why I didn't like when I was looking at electric cars. Like a Tesla was never an option because I refused to support that fucking clown. Honestly, Volkswagen's like not much better. But
is Elon Musk light wave MAGA?
He's like fascist light.
Yeah,
sure.
Light fascist.
Sure.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. He's like what is it called? I don't know.
The most annoying man at Burning Man. That's like on way too much Molly and trying to tell you that he fucking had a fucking spiritual enlightenment. He's like part of the nightmare blunt rotation at Burning Man. That's who Elon Musk is. I'm just like, oh my God, get me out of this conversation with this guy. He's just like ranting on his fucking
I think I would
sweaty.
I would enjoy talking to him.
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
I would, you know what? That's great. I would hot potato that motherfucker right to you. I'd be like, I have the perfect guy for you. Here, talk to Shmoo. I'm gonna go fuck off and enjoy my drugs.
Wasn't
else.
Kanye West at my blunt rotation table when we did that game?
The nightmare blunt rotation?
Yeah, he's kicked off my table.
God.
He's kicked off my table.
God.
Yeah.
I can't have anti-Semitism at my table.
No.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so honestly, I think when it comes to nightmare blunt rotations, like a non-weed smoker is almost infinitely worse. Like a non-weed smoker celebrity. You
Yeah.
know, like Pete Davidson. I don't think like maybe Pete Davidson would be cool, but like, you know,
Oh
I
yeah,
know that my
totally.
man has like smoked weed before.
Yeah,
So like he would like know how to act, but like take
totally.
like a Toby Maguire, like nightmare.
Yeah.
I can just see Toby Maguire like
Oh,
freaking out.
yeah.
What
I
is this
wouldn't.
wine? What is this second-rate wine?
I don't want to. I don't want to have to talk him down. I don't want to have to talk down Spider-Man. I can't. No.
Like you guys agreed that I was better than Andrew Garfield, right? Like, okay, I understand
Yeah.
Tom Holland. Like, whoa, man.
I was like,
Hey,
nobody
we're
was
just
even.
chilling.
Yeah, nobody was even gonna bring up the Spider-Man thing. We were just chilling. It's like, yeah, but you're all thinking it, you know.
And you know, my back stopped me from doing the fourth, which
Yeah,
is true. And
it's
I
true.
honestly think that they fucked him up on those stunts. Like I can imagine like the safety of those stunts being like an early 2000s ish movie, just not
Yeah,
being up to snuff. Shit's also
definitely.
terrifying. He was. What's the last thing I saw him in? Like The Great Gatsby for me was like the
Mm.
last thing I saw him
Toby
in. He,
Maguire? Oh fuck. It would be Spider-Man for me.
yeah.
I haven't seen him in anything.
Oh, I happened the other day. I was reminded. I have a friend that is a friend of Kirsten Dunst's husband, who's like that guy from Breaking
Jesse
Bad.
Plemons, dude, I saw them in
Yeah,
Austin. They were at
yeah. Apparently, yeah,
yeah. They were at they weren't at my show, but I played a show that they happened to be at, right?
yeah.
Um they were really cool. I hung out with them
That's
for
what I've heard.
I hung out with them for like half an hour. Like they were chill.
Sweet
Yeah,
people.
We hung out.
that's super cool, man. I
Yeah.
like. Holy shit, though. I have some concerns. Anybody that can play that role in Breaking Bad, like that fucked me up. I won't spoil it, but
Yeah.
uh, no, that's cool though, man. Austin is the part that I'm gonna miss. My partner, she had a job for a while. In the sort of workspace was this like apartment building or condo building, right behind Robert Plant's house. So when Robert Plant would
Yeah.
like jam, like you could just like hear the faint sounds
Really?
of Robert Plant just jamming in
Dude, the
Central Austin.
I live relatively close to the Hollywood Bowl and I could hear the Who from my house.
That's what
Granted,
I am gonna miss. You can see cool shit in the city. You get to see like the best bands. Thundercat. I still haven't seen Thundercat. I've
oh
missed
really?
him every time he's been in Austin, and that's like I wanted to see that trio that he had going with Dennis Ham and I forget the dude that's playing drums.
Oh,
His
well,
like Instagram's Drum Brownie. He's fucking
that
so
guy's
great.
insane. Yeah.
That is a power trio if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
Thundercat's work on Dami and JD Beck's album is also
Amazing.
phenomenal.
Yep. Amazing.
Yep.
I tried to like transcribe like the first couple bars of his solo on Not Tight, and like I got I don't know maybe like 1.5 bars in, and I was like I can't. Like how does he do it that fast? He's a fucking freak.
Yeah, I would say Thundercat is one of my favorite modern artists of the last 10 years, 15 years or
Yeah,
so.
easy.
It's pretty easy.
Man, I really dug the Emerald Isle vinyl and what's that dude's name? Craig, right?
Craig, yeah. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
great record.
That shit is that was a really it's like California Magic record.
Mm-hmm.
It's really the way it's mixed for me. Like the songs themselves are like really cool, really interesting, but I just love the way that record sounds.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a timeless sound. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like when I don't listen to the Beach Boys often, but when I do, I listen to Pet Sounds, and that's like a type of world I like. That like a mix can like put you in like a whole other world.
Yeah, totally.
Really good shit.
Have you ever heard of Salami Rose Joe Lewis?
Salami Rose Joe Lewis.
I think
No.
you would like her a lot.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. Crazy modal shit. I've never seen anyone loop quite like her. The way she does live looping, it's like, like she'll go through 7 keys in a loop.
Oh.
It's like Jacob Collier level of like harmony, complexity, and then she'll sing over it, and it's like, holy fuck! Like, yeah, she's awesome. She's on, is it Brain Feeder or is it?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Probably that's where Thundercats at, and
Yeah.
some other
Yeah.
experimental. I think Anderson Paak might have his own thing going on. That Dami and JD Beck record came out on Blue Note, which
That's very cool.
good for them.
Good
You know,
for
that's
them.
like going to be a great. They're going to win Jazz Record of the Year. That's like a
Absolutely.
guarantee.
They're guaranteed to win in that. Yeah.
And to be honest, like
They're going to
I
win
hope
so
that
many
they,
Grammys.
I hope that they continue to. I'm already looking forward to the next one. This one though, my one critique of that album, and it's not musical. It's just that like because it's on Blue Note, like you get the Herbie feature, you have Thundercat working on it, you have Anderson Paak, you have Busta Rhymes, you have Snoop, or you have Kurt. What's his name? The guitarist. Wink. Can't remember, some famous jazz guitarist. Just like a lot of heavy hitters.
Yep.
And I really would like to see just them do everything themselves because they're so like they don't need anybody else.
Oh, I see.
Like Dami,
Yeah.
their tiny desk
It's
was like my
amazing.
favorite way to
Amazing.
listen to their songs because
Amazing.
the way that she's playing like foot pedals and stuff like that, that's really just like taking the cake. Like that is the best duo
Yes.
I think I've ever seen.
I totally agree. Totally agree.
Very, very, very good shit. I couldn't even if I even wanted to play any of those songs, I wouldn't even I would trio at a minimum, and that would be real minimal shit. I would probably want to play with the guitar player so that we could like cover more notes together.
Right.
Like, kind of like the Trunks and the Goten shit.
Right.
Are you guys Dragon Ball Z fans by chance?
Don't know anything about the balls of the Z.
Before we get into Dragon
you, of course, you know everything about it. But Sagittarius are thorough, but they're also like, y'all don't deal with bullshit that you don't want to deal with. Fiery, busy.
That's a good note to end the episode on because that's where we started.
Yeah.
It is.
Um,
Full
you guys,
circle.
this has been such a joy.
yeah,
I
this
feel
was
like I haven't
really
talked to you
fun.
in years. Well, I haven't talked to you in years. It's been at least 3 years since I've talked to you.
For sure. It's been a minute. And yeah, let's do more of these. This is great.
Yeah, this was fantastic.
sure.
This was great.
Jesse,
It's nice meeting
I'm so
you.
pleased to make you. I've followed you. Come down with the sickness. 666.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that you guys are just a great time. Give Pudding my love. I'm sure Albus will one day
One day.
they will like get to play and we'll just get like a picture perfect
Oh.
Polaroid.
Yeah.
of Pete.
Yeah.
I already see it.
It's hard with,
Piggy
it's hard
Playdate.
with black bugs.
Yeah.
So we will.
We'll figure it out.
You guys have a good night.
Yeah,
I'll talk
you
to guys
too.
soon.
You too. Thanks so
Thanks
much,
for coming
Tyler.
on.
All right. Should we close out with some nuclear puke?
Yeah, let's close out on a puke. Yeah, I like that one. Give me that gallopy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what I want.
It takes us a little bit of time to get our shit together at first, but we get there.
What makes it so punk is your vocals. Like, your vocals are really great because you're so young.
Yeah.
And you're singing with such emotion.
Yeah. The conviction.
And the conviction is there. Like,
Yeah.
but your voice is young, so it sounds weird and distorted because you're like, you're a child here. So it's like genderless, right? You just sound like a creature with feeling and passion. And I love it.
My drumming is very Larsy.
It's Larsy. It's got swagger.
Yeah. It's more swagger than Lars, I guess.
I think that Lars, I don't know. I think that you and Lars are like evenly matched here.
All right. This was a super fun show.
Fantastic
Tyler's
time.
a fantastic guest. We should have him on more often.
Yeah, we love that.
He's really good at just having a fun chat.
Yeah.
So
Lots to talk about. Very knowledgeable about music, and yeah, it was great. I had a fun time.
we're not going to do another live show for another little more than a week. About a week from now.
Full week.
Full week.
A full week. And when we come back, we'll have a guest again.
We'll have another guest.
We're gonna do guests.
We're gonna do guests.
We're gonna do guests.
We're gonna go out into the wild. We're gonna go to Venice Beach.
We're
gonna go to
make
Hollywood.
Guests. We're gonna
Yeah.
find guests.
We're gonna
I'm gonna
have
rub
hot
my
tubs.
ears.
Right?
Yeah. It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
We got plans, baby.
We got big plans.
Got big plans coming for you. Good night.
You're so cute. All right, night. Bye bye.